Hello.
Thank you.
I-
And we go live.
I'm not just randomly sitting here.
All right.
I saw you. Oh, sorry.
Welcome, everyone, to another session of Crituitous RP. Thank you very much for joining us this week. Previously, on our adventures, our group of heroes, finishing up the confrontation with the giants and the ancient dragon Imrith, headed back to Waterdeep to finish some personal tasks, some personal quests that they have in mind. A bunch of errands were run, parties were had. Eren collected his wife Osrin, and they all ventured towards Waterdeep. Whilst in Waterdeep, the party gathered together with Gora, the head of the Hunters Guild in that city, to be able to just discuss the situation, because Gora had some very important news and something important to discuss. We ended with Gora explaining that this case of stolen identity that Eren is facing right now has been happening a few times, and they looked into some reports. A couple things of about 5 different reports have been made of people's identities being stolen over the past couple of years. One of those happened to be one of the hunters. Recently, one member of the Hunters Guild went looking and pressing and asking too many questions about this person who stole his identity. And that hunter went missing. So naturally, the guild worked together to be able to track down the body of their fallen comrade, and they found him at the end of a sewage system, waterways that led out into the sea on the western side of Waterdeep. Following that sewage system up, they found themselves at a dead end where there was nothing in there, nothing at all, except a tiny little chess piece. That chess piece was uncannily identical to Eren, even down to the amount of stubble he had that day. It was eerily identical to him. So naturally, Gora invites him in and confronts him straight off. Now, as a refresher, we'll pick up from there, as he hands the chess piece to Eren. And Eren, would you care to remind everyone, maybe take a minute or two to remind the world, what's the significance of this chess piece?
Right. So in the previous campaign, we killed a number of doppelgangers that turned into these chess pieces, which we then kept on us, thinking that the doppelgangers may reappear, and it would be safer to keep these objects on our persons than to leave them astray. What actually happened is these were a creation of Lolth's, and she was using them to track us while we were trying to save the Underdark. After we basically contained all of these in the bag of holding to make sure that she couldn't scry on us anymore. And at the end of the campaign, Eren decided he would bury his in the Underdark and leave it behind because he didn't want Lolth scrying on it, and it was a burden on him. Not just before that, though, he had spoken to Lolth and an intention to lead her after Vizeren, who was the instigator of her downfall, basically, and tried to keep her off our scent, or trying to stop any kind of retribution against us for defeating her plans. So that's where he left it.
Shortly after Eren had... so Eren buried this chess piece, but for the brief moment that it was out of the bag of holding, feeling confident that Lolth was probably watching, he explained to her and showed her vividly a teleportation sigil that he had found somewhere that they had been were looking for Vizerin at. Shortly thereafter, news hit everyone that an army of drow attacked and destroyed the city of Luskan. Now, in our campaign, our heroes very early on traveled to the city of Luskan to find that the drow had rebuilt and taken full control of Luskan. So now that that chess piece has resurfaced, who knows what effects this has with things. So we pick up right there with all of you present, including, and I don't know if we forgot to mention this previously, Loic has a pet with him. Loic, would you mind explaining your pet to everyone?
Well, it's a basilisk, so it's a medium monstrosity. He is bright blue in coloration, which is a little bit rare for a basilisk. He looks exactly like any other basilisk you would run into, except for the fact that he's got a pair of goggles strapped to his head that are constantly, as far as y'all have seen, they've been shaded. Okay. And he's just there.
This also was something that very early on in the first campaign, Loic and others, Loic and friends, defeated a nest of basilisks and took 3 basilisk eggs. They were only able to recover and keep one alive long enough for it to hatch, and it has been trained in Silvery Moon, waiting for the day that Loic would finally come and collect it. So we rejoin the group inside the Hunters Guild Lodge, and Gora just has this blank, stunned look upon his face. So you're telling me Lolth, Queen of Spiders, all of that, the big bad Lolth, is watching us right now?
Maybe, and then Aaron's going to take it and pop it in his bag of holding, like he used to.
You may want me to take a look at that before you put it away. See if it even is still connected.
Did I not hand it to you? I did hand it to you before the end of the session, so
Or would it be better to put in my bag of concealment?
Either way, it would both work. Both the bag or your little pouch would both work. Loic, if you identify it and connect with it, go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me. You have absolutely no doubt this is extremely strong in divination / transmutation magic, the same sort of signature that the previous ones had. The transmutation keeping it identical to the person it is tied to, and the divination allowing anyone, regardless of whether or not they're on the same plane as you, to be able to scry in clear detail the area immediately surrounding the piece.
But picking it up and holding it, nothing actually happens to physical Aaron like it did that one time?
No, nothing ever happens. Nope.
All right. Okay, yeah. It definitely feels like something is attached to it, so it still is probably being used as a scrying device.
Okay, so bag of holding then. Placing the bag of holding. I did not expect to ever see this again. I buried this, and it's concerning that these are following us around. Loic, what did you do with yours?
Myself, Lael, and Taman all gave ours to the Vault of the Sages, and they put them where they put all the dangerous things.
Can we contact them somehow and make sure that theirs aren't missing?
Yeah.
Because you think it's worthwhile doing that?
Yep. Just give me a sec to figure out how to phrase it.
Okay, well, these things could turn into doppelgangers, but obviously this thing's impersonating other people. It's not just impersonating me now. So does that mean there's more than one of them, or does this mean that this god thing can change into multiple different things? And what does it have to do with this chess piece? The hunter that went missing.
Yes.
You said somebody was trying to infiltrate his family. How were they trying to infiltrate them? How did you guys know that he was being infiltrated upon? And then what did he do? How did he react to that?
So, the hunter in question, his name, let me remember his name. It was Teenan. Teenan, his family, he kind of left his family when he joined the Hunters Guild, but his father, he's, how do I say it? He has control over the City of the Dead section of Waterdeep. Any and all internment or burials, funeral rites, anything that involves the graveyards of Waterdeep come under his stewardship. And he found that someone had begun taking his place within that family. Now, he had disowned his family initially through some problem that they had had, but slowly but surely he got concerned by this individual who was apparently taking his life with his family in that area of town. It wasn't a week, maybe two, before Teenan went missing that his father passed away, leaving everything that he had, his position and everything, to his son.
Right. So what they have in common is these guys are personating sons of two powerful families.
Seems so.
You said there were other cases. Is there a similar connection with those?
So, I don't necessarily know. You might want to ask around town, ask some of the local guards. We didn't really look too much into the other cases of the mistaken identities and things and all of that. We were focused on just Teenan.
I'm going to roll, I guess, maybe a history, see if just over the course of the past few bits of adventuring, going around and chumming with people I would have heard, maybe talk, if that seems like a thing that could have happened.
Talk of what?
Talk of other weird happenings with people, going missing and showing up again, or with a wealthy patriarch suddenly dying and their money going to their disaffected child, or to their child after a sudden and unexpected death.
Okay. Roll a history check then. Rack your memory. Okay. You actually do remember something. You paid attention to news of the sea and just all kind of water-based trade as a sailor yourself. Mm-hmm. And you did hear, you remember now, a similar sort of situation, a prominent member of the family that kind of runs the business of the docks and all things seaworthy in Waterdeep. He died about a year ago. But the thing that strikes you as odd is you particularly remember people remarking about how his daughter, her name was Symir, Symir. She almost did a complete turnaround. She was not a very good sailor, She struggled but tried to follow in the family line, but wasn't that good. Then all of a sudden, when her father died, she was possibly one of the most accomplished sailors in town. It was quite remarkable how quickly she picked up the business of her father and was able to control this sector. Now, anyone that is familiar with Waterdeep or the governmental system, or would have some reason to have that sort of that background knowledge, go ahead and roll a history check. I'm looking specifically at Loic here, but anyone else as well. Okay. Loic, one thing you're starting to see a connection with these, as you know that in Waterdeep, the Lord of Waterdeep is known as the Open Lord of Waterdeep. Whenever one of the lords dies or is removed from office or anything, a group of individuals known as the Masked Lords are the ones that vote him in. These Masked Lords tend to be like prominent members of society, and it's not too clear as to who they are and what they do. However, it strikes you as a bit of a connection there that each of these Masked Lords tends to be one of the leadership of these different parts of town, and they run the town underneath the Open Lord. So the City of the Dead is usually under one of them, the docks under another. It's starting to build a bit of a picture there.
So it's possible that our enemy could be targeting the families of the Masked Lords.
Seems like it.
And doing so via heritage. Mm-hmm. That's my theory.
So
Look,
we're looking at a possible power play for Waterdeep.
Look, I have lived in Waterdeep for a little bit of time, and the idea of the Masked Lords always intrigued me. I feel that they wore these masks for anonymity, so as they could not be influenced by the powerful guilds and whatnot. How would one go about targeting their family if no one knows who they are?
That's a good question.
Aaron, do I know, in regards to the Smithing or Jewelers Guild, if any of that member might be a Masked Lord, given my personal background?
Roll a history check.
That's not going to work.
So...
Does it...
18.
Oh, okay. All right. Ooh, maybe it'll work.
You...
Say, based on
It makes
conversations I may have
sense.
heard...
It makes sense that a leader of the Merchant Guild or Jewelers, Smithers Guild and whatnot would also be a prominent member of the society. There's a chance he could be one of these Masked Lords. There's a chance that just simply the leader of the Merchant Guild would be in danger right now. All of you, in fact, if you have ties to some organization that is represented or controlled within Waterdeep, would figure that each of those little groups may be in danger.
Is the Emerald Enclave gone?
It's not specifically, no. I mean, the person that would be the Emerald Enclave representative is Gora.
Perception check on Gore.
Roll a perception check. I mean, his hair's a little shorter than usual, but seems like the same old Gora.
I'll be back in half an hour. I have an errand. Okay, bye-bye. And Gamel walks out.
Wait, take your shit.
Oh, thanks. I thought okay. Into the bag, or into the hole, I guess.
Okay.
That takes a little longer than usual to lay out a hole, throw it in, close it, and off we go.
So, Gamel, where are you going?
I am going to go to the Smiths Guild because I belong there, and I'm just going to go in and just see who's in charge of the guild these days. Because, you know, being on the road as a journeyman, you may not always hear that kind of thing.
You changed your appearance recently, right?
Yes, I now have short black hair and a very short beard, and I'm kind of... I understand my guild paperwork probably doesn't have a picture on it, right? It's just like a heraldry, like with a stamp on it.
Yep.
And I'll try, and unless it says specifically that I'm a dwarf, I'll be passing myself off as human.
Okay.
You've also got the dragon mask.
I'm also wearing full plate armor and a mask that covers my face.
Okay. So it takes you not more than 15 minutes to find where you need to go. You're familiar with Waterdeep very heavily, especially the Merchant Guild and where they meet. You find the guild hall, or at least the hidden entrance to the guild hall around the back of a large blacksmith house. And you knock on the door. The little window slides open. Who goes there? What business have you?
I give the code word. Periwinkle blue is not becoming on a gnome.
Too true. Too true.
That's a lie. We all know that's not true.
He opens up the door. You see a rather tall human individual. You don't recognize him. He's not from your days of being in the Merchant Guild. But before he allows you in, he opens the door to look at you. Come on now. You got to show your face. Who are you?
Oh, of course. I take it off. I'm Gamel. I'm a journeyman smith. I haven't been into a city for a time, and I owe dues, about 3 months' worth. So I'm just here to pay up on dues, see if there are any freelance projects, and just paperwork. You know how it is.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Follow me. Follow me. He leads you into the Smithers Guild, and it winds its way down a big spiral staircase down to a huge array of forges and different tinkerers' sets. It's a wonderful place. You remember being here and working here a few times. Everyone has their little corners. Some people have their offices. A couple things stand out to you. Almost no one in the room is anyone that was from back when you were part of the guild. Which, how long ago was it that you left the guild?
I think in total it was 5 years, we've said, since I was in Waterdeep.
So 5 years. In 5 years, all of those members, at least the publicly known members that would work here in this major sector, all of them have been swapped out for other people. Like, these are new people that are in the guild. He takes you over to the admin area.
Are they all like humans, or are some of them dwarves, or...
Roll a perception
is there
check.
is there anything strange about the composition of the people?
No, not really. I mean, you've got your typical array of mostly human, a couple other races here and there. There is a half-orc and a couple drow, in fact, that are in there. So it's a nice mixture of individuals and races. At the table, a young woman is sat there looking through papers. She looks up at you, drops her glasses down, and yes, you have business with the guild today?
Oh, yes, Gamel, Ironsmith. I'm a journeyman smith, and I owe dues. Last time I paid dues was back in Gauntlgrim a while ago.
And when did you join the guild, Mr. Ironsmith?
Yeah, Ironsmith. I've been a member for a long time, but I was just an apprentice. I went journeyman about 3 years ago, and I've just been traveling since then, paying dues when I come into any major city.
Roll a deception check. Because that's a lie.
Well, I'll know, like, all the paperwork's true.
It is. It is. So you have advantage on this. She stares at you.
For anybody watching, I rolled a 3, but luckily I had advantage and then rolled a 2.
Well, hang on. In defense of the lie, maybe it's not a lie because 3 years ago he was off as a journeyman. He started journeying more than that, but he also started at one point 3 years ago. He had to have stepped off somewhere, right? So
well, in defense of the lie, Gamel Ironsmith became a journeyman smith 3 years ago.
That's wonderful. But if Danric was with him at the time, then that would.
If only I'd brought Danric.
All right.
So
she barely even looks at your paperwork, throws it back. She's staring at you. Fair enough. 3 months dues, you say?
That's yeah.
Okay. How much is that? Your usual due is what? 5 gold.
Yeah, it's usually 5 plus any materials, but I haven't used any guild-approved materials, so I think it's 18.5 total with tax.
Okay, so 15 gold.
Okay.
You're not going to charge tax.
I was trying to bribe her a little bit.
If you want to give her 18, you can do.
Be sure to wink. It never fails.
Tell you what. Here's my dues. Here's 15, and here's a little something extra. I haven't been here for a little while, and it seems like there's been a lot of turnover. What happened to old man Tate? He was here for forever. I was beginning to think he might have been a vampire. He never seemed to leave his forge, but I don't see him anymore.
Just business moved on. There was a time about 3 years ago when there was no business in Waterdeep. So everyone left. We've been rebuilding since then and reforming everything.
No business for the... One second. No business for the most careful order of skilled smith and metal forgers in Waterdeep? That doesn't sound right.
I know. It was disastrous. Everyone went to either Neverwinter or some even went south, looking for work south of here. Don't know what that was about.
Who's Guildmaster at that time?
I don't know. I just joined recently. I work in admin. You want to talk about the past? You talk to some of the older members.
All right. Well, who's Guildmaster now? I mean, last I recall, it was old man Copperhelm who was the guild leader.
She looks at the 15 gold that you handed her and the little extra. She's like, it seems to have slipped my mind for some reason. Who is the... I don't know.
Huh.
My mind's gone blank for some reason.
Alrighty, well, it's not that important. Anyway, just glad we got all marked up on dues. Am I good? Have you noted that down?
Yep. Gamel Ironsmith paid 15 gold.
And do I get the customary receipt?
There you go. Proof you are up to date with your work. Now, if you do any business inside of Waterdeep, please let myself or the stewardship know so that we can keep appropriate tracks of it.
I'll send the standard forms. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I will leave, and then there's a watering hole nearby for guild members, and I'll just get a drink and ask those same kind of questions. Just, hey, I'm a journeyman smith. What's going on? What's around? But perhaps not in the middle of a stronghold where people may or may not jump me and murder me.
Okay. All right, go ahead and make a charisma-based skill check, and feel free to choose whichever charisma-based skill check you're going to make, but give me a reason why.
Rather than make a charisma-based skill check, can I genuinely just have a drink, just have a conversation with people, and then just tell if they're lying to me or not about what's going on in the world with some insight checks?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay. So, I mean, sincerely, just getting some drinks, catching up on some people that I genuinely want to hear about, like, hey, what did happen to old man Tate? But then also, like, what is going on these days?
Natural 20. Okay.
Makes up for the 3 and the 2.
People tend to skirt around the topic of the leadership of the guild these days, particularly when someone they don't really recognize is asking those questions. So you press a little deeper because you can tell that there's a problem here. You do learn the guildmaster's name. It is Geir Goten.
Gary Goat.
Geir Goten. And I will type that into the chat so that people can see how that is pronounced.
Ba ba ba.
That name strikes a chord with you. You almost table flip the moment you hear it, but you hold yourself back.
Can I roll a deception check to hold myself back?
Go ahead.
No. I flip a table.
The table flips. You storm out of the tavern. People are staring at you as you walk away. What does this guy have to do with Geir Goten?
I table flip, and then I grabbed the guy who told me, and I said, besides Geir Goten, who works with him? Like, I got him by the scruff.
Everyone? I mean...
Yeah, but, like, who's his, like, you got the admin guy, and you got, like, there's the guild leader, and then, like, the 4 or 5 guys underneath him. Who are they?
You want the names of everyone?
Yes.
Okay, there's Darren, Doran, Doiser, Fessin, Fusel, Glirin, Glulin, Gono, Hetzer, Kenna. There's a bunch.
Anyone else? Give me all of them.
And Volley.
Volley. Okay, great. I throw him back in his chair, roughly.
Okay.
And then I throw, like, 30 gold at the barkeep. And I say, free drinks for everybody. And then I leave.
At which point he immediately shouts, that's not enough for everyone, so no.
100 gold.
Okay.
Free drinks for everybody. And then I leave.
All right. So where do you go, Gamel?
I said I was going to be gone half an hour. This is probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe 3.
Do you head back to the party? Okay. So in the meantime, what are the rest of you doing?
So honestly and angrily, and I put my hood back on, and I'm a big, angry guy in black plate armor and a black mask. If little children saw me in the street, they'd scurry away to the other side.
It's also raining.
It is also raining.
So what's everyone else doing while all of this is happening?
I wanted to send a sending spell to the guy in Silvery Moon that I know that works in the Vault of Sages.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, check on the game pieces that look like us. It's Loic. Any changes or activity?
Not sure what you're talking about. You picked them up last month.
Oh! They're not there anymore.
Are you saying that out loud? Or are you saying
Yeah.
that? Right. Okay, so we've got multiple people here.
Would a month also coincide with the time in which a drow came by my family house?
That
was more like a week ago.
It was more like a week ago.
Okay.
That someone recently came looking for you.
Well, now we're all
just kind of leans forward and it's like, what's up? What's got you so rattled? Hello.
Who's rattled?
So Loic just suddenly shouting, they're all gone now. Gora has no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. There's the chess pieces weren't just of me. They were of all the party members that were with us in the Underdark.
Okay. So
The
how
other
many?
There were 3 in Silvery Moon that are no longer there. Mine,
Right.
Laels, and Tatemans.
So with yours, that makes 4. I wonder how many more there could be out there.
Well, these were, as far as I know, specialized for us.
What did we do with Valdasar's piece?
I don't know. I only took-
Valdasar wasn't with you at the time. Was he?
Yeah, it was. Him
Yes,
and
it was.
Radon both.
Oh, yeah.
Imradon and Ilya we all had chess pieces.
Okay. I believe the others were in Ilya's bag of holding, along with the cup. Long story, other campaign.
I hope that's the thing the Horrible guy changed.
If
Okay.
if they went to your homeland, Loic, to reclaim these items, it suggests that they have some value. The fact that we have one of the pieces now suggests that we have some value. Either they don't want other people to have it, or they want to have them themselves to use for some ends.
I'm wondering, these things, once they're killed, they revert back to the chess piece. Maybe there is a time period before they can change back into doppelgangers again. What if this hunter managed to kill my doppelganger, and that's why the chess piece was on the floor?
That's dizzying.
If your doppelganger was killed, then perhaps we will find at the estate of your father that he is no longer there. Should we
It
investigate?
sounds like these guys can take on any persona. It might not be my particular chess piece, or my particular doppelganger now impersonating me. It would make sense for it to be him, but that doesn't necessarily mean it is. Or maybe they don't need to be in the vicinity. Maybe just the chess piece being nearby, they can be separated from it. I'm more speculation though. This is really your domain.
Well, if their power is tied to the chess pieces, what if we just destroy the chess piece?
You're free to try.
Yeah.
I'll take that as we've tried and it failed. Fair enough. Well, I mean, Loic, you're much stronger and your magic at this point. Maybe you're able to dispel any power that might be on it.
You can certainly try.
Because the thing is that the actual material that this is made out of is abyssal material. So that's the way that it's connected. It's not necessarily connected by traditional, as you would understand it, divination magic. It's literally made of this stuff. It's made of loth.
Oh.
The way in which the party actually first encountered these chess pieces, even before the doppelgangers, involved them being pulled into the abyssal planes momentarily to meet Lolth as she taunted them. The party had to submerge them. They met and saw an avatar of Lolth playing a game of chess with these chess pieces. And whilst in the abyssal plane, they acted like voodoo dolls, such that any effect on one of them had an effect on the corresponding member. The party, in order to escape the area, had to drown themselves with their tokens in a pool full of blood. And thereby, a week or so later, they came across a creature that's skin looked identical to theirs, but also looked more like blood-colored and almost looked like a solidification of blood in their form. And when they were defeated, these chess pieces remained.
Okay.
So powerful magics went into the creation of these little artifacts.
Okay.
Well,
At this point, I could pop them into a different plane entirely.
yeah, but there's no way of knowing these things can't just get themselves back. It sounds like this is exactly what's happened.
Well, the piece was in the prime material plane, and so it returned to us. If we put it in a different plane, like the Abyss, put it back to where it came from, maybe it would have a harder time getting back here without help. Basically, put it where it belongs.
If you think that's the best play at this point,
It's just an option. I'm thinking, like you all are.
okay. I'm not. I don't disagree with that idea.
And if we can't destroy them, maybe holding on to them, whoever needs it, could come to us so we can get something from them. Information about it, find out where all these others are. It could just be just as dangerous, but danger's kind of our thing now, I think.
Okay. So, all right. Well, our obvious play now is that we know where one of these beings are, but it sounds like they're setting themselves up. And my father is probably the next head on the chopping block. We need to deal with the situation now.
It's definitely a trap.
Traps were built to be sprung, though.
Yeah, I just want to let you know. It's definitely a trap. This one is set for Aaron. And they'll get to us.
Well, it's set for Aaron, but not necessarily for Aaron and crew.
No, it's
together.
Set for all of us.
But teamwork, friendship.
No, I'm not saying let's not go spring the trap. I'm just saying be aware it's a trap.
Okay, I was going to suggest, look, if these things are conscious, the only thing that or if it has my memories, the only thing it knows is the people that were at the party when we were in the Underdark. Now, unless, of course, Loic is scrying on us now and she can pass information to these things, they would not know Danric, Gamel, and Artir. So my suggestion, what we could do is that me, Loic, and Osrin can stay back.
Loic, sorry, real quick to interject. Loic, you still have the capability to see invisible things, right?
No, not passively.
No.
I'm now wearing the armor of the Planeswalker.
Because you're not wearing the robe of eyes anymore.
Yeah, they're both attunement and they're both worn.
Yep. No, never mind. Sorry,
Hold on.
go ahead. Continue.
But
That's not ominous.
But I've done lots of detect magic between now and a month ago, and at some point, if there was any kind of scrying orb, I would have sensed it.
Not around you, not within the last month or so.
It would be within 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
31 feet away.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, my general thought is that maybe that you three could go and pose as I said, my father's he's a horse lord. You could pose as people looking to invest in some horses or purchase them. Go in there in a business structure, just to maybe get a quote, find out what he's offering.
Aaron, why do you think that they wouldn't know about Danric, Gamel, and Artir?
Well, no. What I just said is, if they knew, they'd only have the knowledge of what they knew from when we were in the Underdark.
Why do you think that?
Well, no, I'm interposing that if they have any knowledge, it would only probably be that knowledge, unless, of course, because that's when they were created. They wouldn't have any other knowledge that we wouldn't know ourselves. We didn't know.
If they knew that we existed and they know about us, what's to keep them from simply scrying on us directly?
That's the only problem in the plan is that this thing has now been in the room with us. Have they been scrying on us? Do they know do they know?
I think what Loic is getting at, the presence of these tokens means that these individuals know of you. And a scry spell can be used by anyone who can cast the scrying spell on the same plane. The only thing that was specific about these tokens and the location of these tokens was the magical artifact allowed a being to scry its location and the location around it, regardless of what plane of existence that token happens to be on. And so a normal scrying method, if they knew of Erin, they could have been watching you the entire time. Could have,
but that would suggest that these guys had the ability to scry on us previously, and they didn't seem to want to attack us back when we first encountered them, because they didn't know we were in the city, or they decided to walk away from us when we were in the city, and they didn't know we were sneaking up behind them for an attack. So they either don't have that ability or they weren't using it at the time.
the only time you, or at least Loic, remembers seeing a scrying orb in the last little while was on board the ship a while back. And that gave off distinct tinges of draconic energy. So you feel fairly confident that you haven't been scryed up until this point.
Yeah,
at least.
So the only thing we have to worry about is if this is only a thing that Lolth can communicate through, or if this is something they can all communicate through or scry from. So there goes the risk. Is do we think this is something that Lolth is only looking into, or is this something that the rest of these beings are looking into?
Has the token been placed back into the bag, by the way?
I'll have given it back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would have placed it in the bag before we started these conversations.
Okay.
The Yoklol that we fought one time said that she too watched the scrying. So I imagine anyone who worships her is given the ability. Could be given the ability if it meets her plans.
I seem to feel like we lack information, and therefore we need to gather more information. I am happy to go to Erin, your family's estate. I am also happy to make inquiries to the city guard for other similar cases. I am at your disposal. Just tell me what you would like me to do. But I feel further speculation could be of a greater quality with additional information.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. The only guaranteed source of information that we know of is my doppelganger currently. It's how we want to approach getting the information from that source, or what we can gauge from him without blowing the cover.
Well, we could also gain information from observers who don't know what they're observing, such as, I understand that your mother might still be there.
It's getting there without tipping this thing off or setting off the trap that is undoubtedly there. Again, we could try and gather information elsewhere in the city. I'm fine with maybe doing that.
Should we start there? Should we start making inquiries of the city guard?
Maybe we should try and figure out how thick this plot is before we start poking in it.
Yeah.
Is there anything the Hunters Guild can do to aid you in this regard?
Maybe just putting out some feelers. You guys obviously know the city quite well. If there's any contacts that you've got that you can just figure out if there's any persons that have suddenly come into power, suddenly appeared on the power stage, or lost people, or sudden deaths in nobility.
Okay.
In the last couple of months.
I'll have some of my hunters out. I won't tell them what they're looking for, but I'll have them looking for stuff. Okay.
Yeah, it's better to keep
We also might want to develop a code in case the enemy with your face comes around.
Fair enough. What's your code word? What's your... What should we use?
What did Osrin do to you last time you left my house?
She slapped me. Hard. Ow.
I don't think you'll know that.
Yep. Fair enough.
So how will the Aaron asking that question is verification of Aaron's identity to you, Gora? Is that correct?
Should I not slap you?
No.
Can we not ask Osric to repeat what she did?
No, that's not going to be necessary. You can. You're all good in that respect.
Okay.
Talking about the past, talking about the history, little things like that some imposter wouldn't know, would feel confident to me. Yes.
Okay.
Whether it's that specific case or others.
Yeah.
I think we'll know whether or not it's Aaron.
Gora, I did wish to make a visit to the Waterdeep Guard. On an unrelated matter, anyway. I would appreciate your introduction to one of these peoples, so that my approach to them just doesn't seem like some random men in the street.
Of course. Tell me when you wish to go.
Does anyone have any other business here? I would like to, if not, I would like to speak with the guard.
Just to, I think it's wise for us to leave Duon and Duon Junior here. Can we set them up in in one of the rooms?
We'll take care of him.
Fantastic. Do you want to come with?
I'll come with. Yeah.
Fine.
I'll be coming with. Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, follow me and I will introduce you to the local captain of the guard. And he picks up his stuff, his belongings, straps on a few too many weapons than you would expect, and starts heading out the door, at which point runs smack into Gamel, running full pelt. Well, not running, but looking quite ominous and
Stridently
angry.
walking in a brooding manner.
Yep. Okay.
You okay?
Not great. My mortal enemy has become the leader of the guild, and I think that he's part of a larger conspiracy to take over Waterdeep. But that will only make my revenge all the more sweet.
Son of a
Mortal
bitch.
enemy.
I play a bum 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 on
Dun, dun,
the
dun.
who's closest to me.
We look
Honestly,
over
man,
and
who
we look over and
has-
there's some guy with an like a hand accordion. Like,
Yeah.
whoops.
Who has a mortal enemy these days, honestly?
I do.
Fair enough, Master.
Vengeance will be mine. Artir, is your displacer cloak still? Were you still going to not be using that?
This has been sold to the merchant in Mirabar.
Oh, I missed it. Unfortunate. Okay, thank you. That is all. Where's everyone going? Sorry, I was a little preoccupied. I see you're all going somewhere. Please tell me it's to go kill something, and please invite me along.
Melded my mind real quick.
I need this. I share with Loic pertinent events, the being in the admin and all the weird people there. Maybe Loic recognizes someone. It seemed a little off-putting to me that there were a bunch of drow there. And then I'll share the bit about finding out Gergoten and all of his lieutenants. Do I know any of them, by the way?
No.
Okay.
They weren't so much lieutenants as they were just people of position and authority within the guild now.
And then I'll
Get him
respond
out.
back.
And you also get back all of the memory of everything that you missed out and the knowledge therein.
Man, from a storytelling point of view, this is a very convenient ability to have.
So, we're off to the city guard.
I will retroactively say that after our encounter with the wyverns, I then did summon my pet or my mount.
Okay.
So my giant eagle isn't walking along the street with us, but I directed Zephyr to stay by the ship.
Okay. So we have a human hunter that's leading a band of adventurers of various different skills and abilities, plus a giant eagle flying above, a wolf at Osrin's side, and Loic, are you riding Pete?
No, I'll be walking beside him while we're in the streets.
Okay.
How big is Pete?
He's medium-sized.
Medium-sized.
But like, is a horse a medium-sized creature?
Horses
No,
are
a
He's-
horse is actually large.
Yeah, he's shorter
Okay.
than a horse significantly.
But
He's about
bigger
as
than
long
a
as a
golden
tail.
retriever.
He's
Yes.
like a Saint Bernard or a Mastiff size, I assume.
Like a mastiff, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But every inch of him is just muscle. And so even though he is a medium creature, could hold the weight, at least, of a small or thin medium-sized creature. Like Loic or Danrik.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I already thought about that.
DM, do I know any disreputable but very good blacksmiths or tinkerers in town who I could be certain of their keeping their mouths shut, but also being able to do competent work?
Yes, the last person you would trust in Waterdeep is probably the only person you could trust in Waterdeep, and that is Diak. He is one of those that kind of trained with you at first, when you were first part, so he knows the real you. Whether or not he would recognize you in this form or not, probably not, but he was someone that seemed particularly defensive of you when the whole ordeal happened.
I'll go with the group, but just letting them know I need to make one more errand if there's a break in the action at some point. So.
Okay. Right. So he leads the party through the town, away from the Hunters Guild, towards the central section. You see the guard station. It is a 2-story tall building with a kind of like probably a 5-foot wall circling all around it. Inside the yard, you can see a couple guards training and practicing drills and such, and one well-armored individual just pacing back and forth, watching them over, or watching over them. Gora shouts out to him, Kemar, come, I have people for you to meet. And so he turns around, walks over, points to you. My friends, meet Kemar, the captain of the Waterdeep Guard. Kemar, this is... What are you calling yourselves these days? It's Gamel, Danrik, Aaron, Arte, Osrin, and...
The wizard.
The wizard.
The wizard. What's... Loic?
If he says that, I would like to prestidigitate a noise over it,
Okay.
like a horn.
You just censored him. Fair enough. Meet Kemar. And that's the spelling. Greetings. How may I help you?
My friends, would you like me to talk, or do you want to talk?
How well of a handle on the situation do you think you have?
As good as anyone.
Go for it.
Greetings, Kemar. I am Artir, as Jorah has introduced us. Our company is known as Eset Telma, and we are an adventuring band of the north. There are goings-on throughout the north, and we chase down these rumors viciously in order to do right and just works.
Okay.
We have-
So you're mercenaries.
We are servant to none and beholden to no coin purses. We are our own masters.
Fair enough.
We have
At
heard.
this point, Gora says, now that I've introduced you, I do actually have guild business to take care of. Kmar, you and I, we need to get together for drinks. I'll catch up with you. And he rushes off away. Sorry, continue.
We have heard that there is trouble afoot in Waterdeep, that there are wealthy families who are being torn asunder by shape-changing or people who take the position of the youngest or the younger members of the family, only to usurp the family's holdings when the passing of the patriarch occurs. Gora told us that there have been a few instances of this, and we come to you to see if you have any more information on this.
You understand how weird that sounds, right?
Not at all.
Fair enough. All right. Shapeshifters.
There are weirder things standing 5 feet from you.
Yes, but yeah. I guess if Gora presented you, I can kind of trust a lot of you. So, as a big city like this, you do find oftentimes there are families that rise and fall and people that come and go often. So, unfortunately, specific families that have been taken over, you gotta be more specific. The claims of doppelganger, shapeshifter, that I do know something about. There's been a couple cases where people have complained about that kind of thing. Someone stealing their life, stealing their position. A couple days later, nothing happened. We never heard from that person again.
How many cases? Are we talking dozens or hundreds?
Over the years, we're looking at maybe 6 or 7. However many of those are accurate, what you're looking for, I don't know. But there were 6 or 7 different cases.
You said over the years. How about the last 6 months?
6 months. There's only really been one. One person claiming, anyway, that their life had been stolen, and that was one of Gora's hunters. That's how we became good friends. I helped him solve that little scuffle.
And the solve was the death of the perpetrator. Is this right?
Well, I helped them find the doppelganger. The hunter himself is still alive. He's over in the city of the dead, taking care of that over there, working out there. He's still alive, but they managed to catch the person that had stolen his identity. It's a shame we weren't able to question him. He just died.
How did
That
he
is a
just
shame.
die?
It happens. I mean, when you try to take someone prisoner and they resist,
And there is.
you can't
Eric
tell
looks a
me
little
you guys
uncomfortable.
haven't.
How did this doppelganger die?
Well, honestly, I don't really know too much. I mean, I helped them investigate and look for the person. We received rumors and word of seeing him in the sewers. When I got there, the body was already dead.
And what did the body look like?
Looked just like him.
So
But I
how do you
saw
know-
him yesterday.
So how do you know it was the doppelganger?
Aaron does know the doppelgangers change back to their form once they die because he's killed them.
That's news to me.
Well,
I mean, I just spoke to Teenan yesterday. I helped bury one of my... Now you're making me question the people I've met.
Good. Questioning is good. In reality.
well,
All right. And who are you, little one?
Just looking up at him like, I'm Danrick Greenbottle, and I'm here to save this town with these people, too. They're probably going to do much more saving. But I'm here to help.
Danrick Greenbottle. Okay.
Oh no, you are on a list.
Yep.
All right, well maybe we should pay this Teenan a visit. Did you say he is in the City of the Dead, is that right?
Yeah, over in that quarter. He works in the... What's the word? It's not a Colosseum. Mausoleum. There we go. He maintains the mausoleum.
All right, forget the doppelgangers. Interesting gossip, rumors. People that have just turned up from the dead in high positions inside of Waterdeep, or sudden deaths of unexpected deaths of lords in Waterdeep. Is there anything like that? Any news?
Go ahead and roll a charisma-based skill check to persuade him to divulge that information.
Nothing charisma-ish. It's just going to be a flat roll. Persuasion.
Can
You can if you want.
Don't know, my friend. Rumors, I never really put too much stock in rumors. We investigate a little bit and then leave them behind if nothing happens. No rumors. That's worth checking up.
I'm gonna snap like, hey. Oh, sorry.
No, go, you carry on.
I was just like, hey, down here. Look, I know you guys hear things. Your watch is everywhere. There's got to be some weird stuff that you're just not thinking of. So really, really try and think about it. Have you heard about any kind of these strange happenings going on?
What?
Go ahead and roll a charisma-based skill check.
I will roll a charisma-based skill check.
And which one will you roll?
Persuasion.
You will roll persuasion. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I like you. All right. Not long ago, one of the local lords, lesser lord, Amical, something like that, he threw a big party for the return of his long-lost son, apparently illegitimate child, lost a long time ago. He threw a big party celebrating him. That was, well, I mean, there was an accident yesterday.
What happened?
There was an attempt on Lord Amical's life. He's okay. We double-checked that he's fine. He's holed up in his house right now. No one talks to him.
What happened?
Are there guards out there now? If you know he's in.
Oh yes, I've got a couple of my men posted around the house. He was out and about in the streets with his wife and son when some ruffian charged through the street and plunged a knife in his back. It was a miracle the guy's still alive.
Wow.
Do those guards that you posted have any families?
Yes.
Did you see the family? Did you speak to them yourself?
Briefly, I was in the square. I helped them get the medical aid they needed, and then I had other duties. Captain of the guard, I can't deal with every little attempt. He is a lord, but there are other lords in town, so some of my most trusted men took care of him, set up the guard watch, made sure that he's secure and safe.
What did
I believe
son,
he's fine. What was that?
What did the son look like?
6 foot, brown hair, pointy ears, which is a bit weird. I mean, Lord Amical and his wife are both human, so I guess he was an illegitimate child. Yeah, fair enough. Just a average-looking individual. Nothing really stood out to him. Nice big scar over one of his eyes, though. Probably got it in a big fight.
What a cool guy.
Some hunter, from what I've been told, some kind of hunter, ranger type.
Sounds attractive.
That's the only thing you can think of, like weird coincidences of other people turning out and see.
Not in the 6 months, no?
And Amikal's okay. So I take it no one's allowed to see him right now?
It's only on a need to visit the family basis. They're playing this one very close to the book. They're not quite sure who they can trust in town. So.
Well, you can trust us. I mean, we came here on good recommendation. Maybe we can go over there and see what kind of help we can provide.
Roll a persuasion check on that.
Remember, you like me, sir. You said
Does
so.
like you.
It's same as
He
before.
still likes you.
Oh, good.
I might be able to get you in, but you gotta give me more. What's significant about this family? Why are you looking for this particular topic? Aren't there other things that you could be dealing with?
Well,
And there's still a couple giants roaming around the countryside. I know they've kind of calmed down, but they're still out and about.
The thought of a person losing their identity to an imposter struck a personal chord with us. We've heard about these happenings. If this family is in the midst of a target that could even potentially be related to the profile that we've seen so far, then it could be in everyone's best interest for us to be there and keep an eye on it. Somebody else comes by. We've got some experience in body replacement, and we might be able to help in this situation. We've been learning, we've been researching, we've been doing our job as freelance investigators.
Body replacement.
Wizard stuff.
Yeah, it's magic. See this guy?
It's magic. Gamel softly hums to himself.
Danner
You are
kind
a
of looks
weird
behind him and is like,
You are a weird bunch. Fine. I'll arrange something. Maybe I can get 1 or 2 of you in with an audience of the family. No weapons.
of course.
No armor. You go in by yourself as a emissary, or what's the words? I've lost my words tonight. On public businesses kind of deal. You talk to them. That's it. My guards will be watching.
Of course.
Okay.
Can't be too safe.
All right. Who wants to go meet the Amical family?
I think we're doing this in the wrong order. I think we need to talk to Tienin, and we need to check out the sewage system where you found the body, see if anything was missed or anything that clues in that you might not have been able to put together without context.
Well, we would love to meet the family. I'm sure it will require at least some arrangement to make that happen. So perhaps we can meet you later today to go do that meeting.
Might take a while for today.
Or perhaps some...
I can get you there. I can get you a meeting tomorrow. I mean, he just had the accident yesterday. best give him a day at least.
Can I insight check this guy, see if there's anything weird going on with him, if he's batting for the wrong side?
Go ahead and insight check him. Seems straight up. Seems
I'm not
very
sure.
plain kind of individual, upfront about everything. Same thing.
All right, cool.
He's an honest guy.
Could you tell us whereabouts in the sewers your investigations left off, or your pursuits?
Sure. You head over to the... so it was on the edge of the city. It was one of the causeways that leads out into the city, out into the water. So you'll want to hit the edge of the seaward. And in fact, let me actually pull you all over to the map of Waterdeep. He indicates this black dot that seems to be just outside the city gates proper. That was the waterway, the sewage outlet where we found the body.
Are there any? Do you know if you guys have any parts of the sewage system that are still attached to the Undermount?
No, they were closed off a very long time ago.
Okay.
Now you got me worried about a lot more. Undermount.
You should be alert. I don't know if it'll be that bad, but be alert. There is magic afoot in people who have ill intent.
Fair enough.
We know that much.
All right. So tomorrow, early morning, come to me and I'll get you, two of you, into the house. Deal?
Sounds good.
And
Well.
before we part ways,
Mm-hmm.
and Artir signals to Zeppa to come drop in where they are. This is my mount. This is a giant eagle. Her name is Zeppa. She understands your language.
Of course it is.
I've always been fascinated by the branch of your guard, who flies around on their griffins, patrolling the streets. I was wondering if you would arrange an introduction with me to meet these individuals. We could compare notes.
You looking to join the Griffin Riders?
If they make a compelling pitch, it would be my honor to be invited to such an august group of men.
That'll take a day or two to arrange, contact them, bring them in. You might have to prove yourself to them.
Whatever do you mean?
Well, if you're gonna if you want to join them, you're gonna have to race them,
Ooh.
and it's a pretty fun. Like the city goes wild for the Griffin races.
Oh, so not a foot race.
Oh no! In the sky, there's mages put up big blockades that you've got to fly in between. It's I think they call it the Blue Cow races, something like that. I don't know.
I am very much intrigued and look forward to this encounter. Very well.
Well,
Hopefully
I'll talk to them.
everything goes well with all of our other things.
Very well. Farewell. I must get back to training these yuppies. Goes back. So what are you guys doing? Gamel, I know you said you wanted to run off and do something privately. Is it a quick thing?
Yeah, depending on where I mean, it's a quick exchange, but if he's on the other side of town, you got to walk over there and then walk back. And Waterdeep's a big place. Maybe I got to find the guy. I don't know where he's at.
I also wanted to do a quick thing. I didn't really want to be alone though during it, and that is I needed to go let Trot go.
Okay. So both Trolt and the person you know tend to be in or around the dock ward / trade south section of the town, the southern part of the section. So the two of you could head out down there quickly. What is it you're trying to do, Gamble? What do you want to get?
I had not wanted to share any of my components. I was just going to do the 9 days and build it myself, because I don't want anyone to get my secrets and anything else. But the recent news has made me reevaluate and need to accelerate my plans. So I wanted to give a portion of the work to someone, not enough so they could know what they were building, but a couple of discrete things so they could put it together, give it back to me, and wouldn't know what the larger project was they were working on. Okay. So I need someone I can give it to and who isn't going to go gabbing around that he's working on some weird equipment for some short guy.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of which, look, we're going together. Make me look 7 feet tall and red-haired. No beard.
Does
Can you do that?
Loic have that ability?
I don't know. I assume Gamma
believe-
can do anything.
Both Disguise Self and Alter Self are self-targeted spells. So I would have to use Seeming. And I'm not going to use Seeming for one person.
All right. Fair enough. So let's go as is.
Okay. So you go down, you're able to find, what's his name, Diak?
I wrote it down.
Yeah,
Diak.
Diak, yep. So you find Diak in the trade south. He's working away at his own private stuff. Though he is a smith, he tends to work on more aesthetically pleasing stuff rather than the functional armor. So a lot of stuff for high-to-do people that just want something that looks good. You trust him, mostly because he's never been good enough to draw attention to himself. And you're able to get him to work on one of those items. You have your scope, your magazine, and your cone.
I want him to put together the scope, and I'm going to explain that it's just a nice decorative telescope that I'm going to give to a friend.
Okay. So he will do that task for you. He'll work on it. 10 gold per day. He estimates, according to what you have planned, it'll take him 3 days.
How about I pay you 15 gold a day and you have it done in 2? Actually, that comes out to the exact same amount of money. 40 gold total, get it done in 2 days.
50.
All right, I'll see you in 3 days.
Okay, 3 days it is. All right, so you have him working on the scope. That leaves the other 2 items for yourself. You and Loic head to the docks, to where your ship is currently moored, or at least docked for now. And sure enough, Trolt is there talking to other sea-worthy individuals. He apparently has taken the initiative to attempt to find you a new crew.
All right. I'll pull him aside.
Sure, Trout can't stay if he wants to. I mean, without forcing him, like, if he wants to stay here, who are we to say no?
I'll ask him.
Trout.
I'll ask him after I drop the Gios, but I want to make sure Gios is off of him, and it is his own free will. So pull Trout aside, say, "Hi, how's it going?"
It's going well. I think I may be able to find a couple people to refit out the ship. It's proving tricky. Getting people onto a ship with no sails is difficult.
Okay. You remember how I was talking before about how I put a spell on you, and I'm going to take it off when we get here?
Yes, of course.
It's time to take it off.
Okay.
So if you could please hand me back the sending stone that I gave you.
Here you go.
Thank you. And then, all right. This should not feel unpleasant, actually. This should feel okay. So, yeah, I'm going to cast a 4th level Dispel Magic.
Okay,
Take
to
care.
completely get rid of gaze. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry, that's a 5th level spell. 5th level. Got it. All right,
So you're casting it at 5th level.
have
Okay.
to.
So, do you speak Draconic?
No.
I speak Draconic.
You do. Okay. The moment the spell is dispelled, you hear a torrent of obscene phrases and words in Draconic led towards Loic. His entire countenance shifts. Rather than the kind of unassuming individual that's been following you around, he stretches a little bit more, flexes a little bit, and starts immediately reaching for items that he no longer has on his person.
All right,
You'll pay for what you've done.
calm
He
down.
seems
You
very-
relax. You survived. That was the whole point of this, is to ensure that you survived. Now that you have survived, you're free to go. We're done.
I don't know if that's a great idea, Loic.
You've ruined everything. Ruined it for me. Ruined it for everyone.
Oh, by the way, Clouth is dead, and Imrith has been impersonating her this whole time.
No.
So you can
Gamble,
go suck
stop.
on that.
Stop.
Wow.
He
Wow.
immediately dives for you and tries to grapple your neck. I need you to roll an athletics or acrobatics check as he reaches for your neck.
Do I
I'd like
have
to cast
time?
Person on him.
You casting hold person, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. So hold person requires him to make a wisdom save, correct?
Are you casting this on Tralt or Gamel?
Tralt.
Okay.
Fair question. Gamel's in a bad mood today.
Oh.
Sorry.
Cool. So that's a 22 that he rolled.
Yeah, he saves.
So he saves. He reaches for Gamel's throat. And rolls a 5. So he fails miserably, falls flat on his face as you step aside from him. You'll pay for what you've done.
Okay, Gamel, don't talk. Tralt, just hang on a second and tell me how we screwed everything up for everyone. If there's something that I can do to help you. If we screwed something up and we didn't know it.
You do not end your servitude to Clouth. He finishes your servitude to Clouth. He is the one that decides when you leave his service and how you leave his service. By pulling me away from him, by killing the rest of the crew and making me your own, I'm as good as dead. You have killed me, so why should I bother staying alive? Why should I care anymore?
You do not believe that Clouth will understand that you were spellbound by somebody else?
No.
Why not?
Clouth doesn't deal in that. He would have seen all of my insubordinations. Anyone could claim they were spellbound and disobeyed him because they were controlled. How do you tell the people that are lying from the people that are telling the truth? I am as good as dead, thanks to you.
No, you're giving up hope way too fast. We just dropped the spell. I know this is a lot for you to process. That's why I tried to prepare you as softly as I could. We'll figure this out. Is there anywhere that you can stay within Waterdeep for the time?
Are you going to stop me from leaving?
No, not at all. But if you can go commit seppuku if you want to, or we can process this and figure it out properly. I believe that I may be able to help you convince Clouth that you were spellbound, but I need to do it carefully.
The more time I spend around the enemies of Clouth, the more danger I am in. No. I'm leaving, and if you're not going to stop me, I'm going now.
Very well.
He begins to charge straight towards the eastern gate of Waterdeep. And he doesn't have any money, so he fails to get a horse. It rather looks pitiful as he attempts to bargain with someone with no money and then gets shied away. And
Man,
then
if I
just
see that,
walks.
if I see that, can I offer, like, how much? would it be to get a horse?
To buy the horse? He was just going to rent it to get to the nearest town, which would have cost 50 gold to drop it off at...
I'll give him that much.
You give him how much? Okay.
So that he can think about it, not just run off and go kill himself.
Okay. The horse merchant let you know that the horse is due in Golden Fields in a couple days. If it's not there, you're responsible for it.
Okay.
And then Trolt rides off into the distance.
I do not think that was wise, Loic.
Well, a lot of things that are immoral are the smart thing to do. So we have to ask ourselves often, do we wish to go with the moral path, or do we wish to go the intelligent path?
We have a lot of enemies, and I think we just let one more walk away.
Okay.
That's all. That's all I have to say.
So, you guys rejoin everyone else. Where are you guys going? Are you going to the graveyard? Are you going to the sewer entrance? Are you going to Lord Amical's house? Where are you guys going?
Let's investigate the sewer.
Yeah, I think sewer first is smart. So we don't need them to be aware of us before.
Right. You wait for the whole party to go together, just because there might be danger. It might be a good idea to have everyone present. You will find very easily the exact spot. It's just on the outside of the city. There is a tunnel that leads directly underneath. Water is flowing out of it, but there are big grates and bars in the way. The bars are separated a little bit from the actual stonework by a huge locking system. You go in, snap it open, break it open, unlock it, however you do it. And you have access to the tunnel beneath.
Is there any light?
There's no light inside.
Okay, Aaron's gonna light a torch for his wife to see.
Okay, all right.
So sweet.
The tunnel is almost perfectly circular, 10-foot diameter. You follow it down only about 100 meters, where the tunnel opens up into more of a pipe system. There is a waterfall of liquid that comes down from the city proper. But other than a grate that you can see that opens up into the city, you're at a dead end. However, Gamel, you hear a voice in the back of your mind saying, "Psst, hey, you can't see it, but I can. That wall is false."
False like I can knock it down with you, or false like I can walk straight through it?
Easily knock it down. It's a fake wall.
Would you care to do the honors, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I just throw it Thor style. Wah!
What's going on, Gamel? Oh,
The hammer impacts itself with the wall, leaving an almost perfectly Warhammer-sized hole straight through.
Please
a second later, it comes back.
With the stick down and the thing up so it looks like a T, like it's straight through the wall.
No, horizontally. He flew horizontally. But he comes back through a different section of the wall, so there's now 2 holes in the wall.
Can Aaron have a look in one of the holes?
Yeah, roll a perception check. Okay, you see quite clearly that beyond here, the wall, the tunnel, is much less cylindrical. It's much more rough hewn. After about 50 foot, you can just about see that the tunnel begins to dip down, not with man-made steps, but natural rock formations. This definitely leads towards some underground part beneath the city that's not so structurally created.
would he perceive this to be some sort of entrance of the Underdark?
It seems very much likely that it looks like the other entrances that you've taken previously, that if you went far enough down, chances are this tunnel opens up into the Underdark.
Okay. I'll pass that information off.
I knew it!
And with that, we're going to take a 15-minute break.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
We'll see everyone back in 15 minutes as we rejoin the party, heading down into the tunnel beneath Waterdeep. should stop giving you so much gold. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us. All right. We rejoin the group as they are at the opening to a hidden entrance that leads far below the city. The wall has been broken in two places as Whelm flew out and then flew back. You all spend a couple minutes and with Whelm's help dismantling the wall, creating an opening more than large enough for you all to step through, and you can see as it descends down into the darkness. What do you do?
Well, if we're only going by one set of that one torch, I am going to cast dancing lights and keep them kind of close, but just so we can send them ahead and have them around.
Who
if we
can't
need
see
more light.
in the dark? Do we still have the goggles of night?
Osrin can't see either.
Those get sold too. Okay.
Can Theon see?
Yeah.
Can Theon see in the dark?
Is Theon all right?
Let's take a look. His character sheet should show what senses he has. He's a wolf, which, no, he doesn't have any special senses. So he can't see in the dark.
Okay.
The light.
So you'll need torches and you'll need light as you head on down. Okay.
Oh, crud. Okay. I will note I have dark vision to 120 feet.
Wow, look at you.
Just as a heads up. because I have dark vision already, and the mask gives me another 60 feet on top of it. But I'm also wearing full plate, so I can't be sneaky. So it does me no good.
That's a point. Danric, if you attuned to one of the masks, you have 60-foot dark vision.
Oh, am I attuned to one? I mean, yeah, I was totally attuned to one of the masks.
Which mask did you attune to? And who here is attuned to a mask?
I'm wearing black.
White.
Let me look at these masks. Hang on.
I have the red one, but I'm not attuned to it.
Where are they listed?
So I don't think I actually created a handout specifically for all of them, did I?
Yeah.
Go to what I just put up, and then go to the last page. Or not last page, third page.
Could Osrin not her armor? Could she not make it light up somehow?
You can't really have it give off any light.
Okay.
Just simply because it's glamored to blend in with stuff. It changes the way it looks for appearances purposes. So, unfortunately, not.
Okay.
Okay. So the dragon masks, as you guys can see, with that, which color does Danric have?
I think he had green.
Oh, that's what I was gonna pick. Perfect.
Okay, so yes, you have attuned to the green dragon mask.
Cool.
Okay.
So then I don't need my dancing lights to be cast.
Nope.
But Osrin does. Osrin's still blind.
Please.
Well, she has the torch though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can go ahead and be sneaky and look around at what's going on.
Yes.
So how do you all proceed?
How wide is this corridor?
It's just shy of 10-foot diameter circle. So
I kind of feel like the sneaky ones should go up ahead a little bit. You guys can see us anyway for 120 feet, so it makes more sense for us to head.
Yeah.
Well, no. To be clear, if you're wearing the dragon mask and you don't normally have dark vision, you get 60 feet of dark vision. If you already have dark vision and you wear the dragon mask, it pushes out to 120.
Yeah.
So,
what I mean is that you can see us at 120 feet.
Yeah.
So if we're up ahead at 120 feet, you can see what's happened, and you can shoot. You can shoot beyond that. So
right.
Oh, and actually, does Gamel, with his mind abilities, have any way to, I guess, see what we're seeing as well? So if we do see something dangerous, he can actually fire at it.
I can communicate. I can communicate with you telepathically, but you can't communicate with me telepathically. But you could always just scream. I mean, that's usually a good way to go.
There we go.
In the Underdark, everyone hears you scream. So, you all make your way down, kind of grouped up, but it's fairly tight. Because it's a sphere, walking more than two people next to one another is almost impossible. So you all make your way slowly in 2 by 2 down the tunnel further and further into the dark.
We're going to have like Danric further ahead.
Yeah.
And then me a little back, and then people with light in the rear.
Aaron will be up front because of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone that wishes to be stealthy, go ahead and roll stealth checks.
Oh, do you want to be stealthy? Oh, do you know what?
Yeah, no, I will, because I've got a good stealth.
You know, whether or not we should probably roll just to see how much noise we're making in the rear.
I've got a good stealth, so I should be. Oh, my.
I got advantage, so 17.
It's a good thing
Okay.
Aaron and I are the ones up ahead at the front.
Oh, there we go.
So the second one is Osrin. She's on 24.
Okay, fair enough. You all keep yourselves fairly quiet as you're making your way down the tunnel. The sounds of rock falls and distant sounds of wind and the typical sounds of the underground kind of drown out whatever it is that you guys are making. You feel the ever-present mass of earth as you're continuing to make your way down and further into the ground. You travel about 2 hours before you come to any bend or twist in this path. When those scouting up the front, I need perception checks from the two of you. Okay, you both, almost the same time, see light up ahead, shining down the tunnel. The tunnel appears to open up into a larger chamber, and you hear chanting in Undercommon.
I'm going to suggest to if we can see the light, everybody can see the light. So Osrin should be able to see the light source, presumably.
So imagine you guys are all coming down a tunnel. Those scouting ahead see a flat chamber ahead. So those at the back, though you can see little bits of light, you can't really see the sources of it.
Can we hear the chanting?
No, it's just my head.
No, it's muffled.
If we
It's
turn out-
difficult for the first people in the front to even understand what is being said.
If we turn out the dancing lights now, will Osrin be able to have a frame of reference that she'll be able to see?
It'll take her a few moments before her eyes adjust. But, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just don't want us to be with a big light source of ourselves. We need to approach in darkness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any way that Danrick could pick up or recognize the tune that they're singing, either knowing it as like a style of song that's used for certain types of contexts, even if you wouldn't know the song itself?
Roll another perception check.
Okay. Oh, that was not as good.
It's all right. It's not difficult. They're not so much singing as they are praying. They repeat this strange language that you don't understand. They repeat certain phrases over and over again.
Okay.
Can Aaron recognize that language?
Do you speak Undercommon
We would.
or Drow?
Oh.
Loic does, but Loic is in the background. Loic has yet to reach this point.
Well, two questions. First question is, do we recognize it as Undercommon, or do we recognize it as a weird language we don't know?
Aaron definitely recognizes it as Undercommon because this is the language that was prevalent in Menzo Baronzon when he was there. You, not so much.
Okay.
But according to the most knowledgeable individuals, it sounds kind of French.
Enchanté.
Undercommon has a French accent. So, what are you two doing?
I'm going to hold position. I'm going to express to Danrick we should wait for the others to catch up now that we're seeing something ahead. I would suggest we kill the light source we're providing for when they get there, to kill the light source and then have Osrin hold my hand or something as we approach until her eyes adjust.
Andrew kind of nudges him, like, I see what you're doing here. That's fine. You can hold her hand. You don't have to make a whole thing for it. But then he gives like a serious, like, I know what you mean. That's a good idea. We should do that. I agree.
By which point, as you all kind of wait and group together, Loic, I need a perception check from you, please.
Okay, it's no longer with advantage. It's not a thing anymore.
Okay. It's muffled. It's strange. It's definitely a prayer to Lolth. That much is clear. But the messages being shared, you don't quite understand.
I would like to turn invisible.
Okay. You do so. How are you turning invisible?
Let me check and make sure I know what the components are.
She just goes like this. So you can't see me.
I'm a tree.
Okay, it's VSM. It's everything. So I will just, under my breath, as quietly as possible, hardly a whisper, do the incantation.
Okay, go ahead and roll another stealth check, please, as you try to hide this.
Actually, Aaron's going to cast Pass Without Trace on the party now that we are approaching very closely.
Right, okay.
Yeah, actually, I do have a question about the area that they're at.
Mm-hmm.
You see the light from their space. Is it far enough away where there's like a blank spot of darkness where we can't see, where our dark vision doesn't, or at least where Danric's dark vision doesn't extend, or is that light at the end of the dark vision where I can see?
So, you guys step... you have this chamber in front of you that opens up. There are pillars in the center, and just beyond those pillars are 4 individuals all dressed in cloaks, knelt down on the ground, praying. There are light sconces all along the wall, giving quite a bit of light into this room, and one drow individual stood in front with his hand out, waving, and as he's waving, you see arcane sigils being carved into the air. Loic, you do manage to quietly, thanks to the Pass Without Trace spell. Actually, Erin, go ahead and roll a stealth check, as that requires you to do VSM quietly.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
no.
that was bad.
Oh no.
So as Loic begins to cast the spell that he's casting, Erin just stops. Oh, don't worry, I got this, and starts doing the spell of Pass Without Trace.
While Erin's doing that, Osrin is rolling her eyes and very quickly changing her armor to match the background, just so she can just try and blend in as much as she can, because she's got the most faith in Erin. But just in case he does roll or doesn't do the spell correctly.
Okay.
Is there a way that... No, that's a bad idea. Never mind.
Pass Without Trace was fancy.
Okay. So as you're approaching...
Question.
Yep.
Light source in this room. Single light source? Multiple light sources?
Multiple. In fact, you know what? I will show you where they all are and illuminate them with the use of a handy-dandy torch icon. So, one in each of the corners next to you. Looks like that.
Ooh. All right. That's good to know. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. As light illuminates the room beyond, and Erin makes a bit too much noise casting Pass Without Trace, the chanting stops.
Danric is going to take a moment to hide behind Erin while this happens.
Okay.
Because he can hide behind big folk.
Mm-hmm.
he does not want to be seen. So I'm just going to.
Artir, would Zephyr have followed you?
No.
No. Okay.
She's staying by the ship.
Can Osrin's noticed that they've stopped because everyone was too loud? Can she, noticing that they're into some kind of magic, can she quickly cast a silence spell over maybe who she feels is the leader of the group?
So casting silence.
Yeah.
What's the range on the silence spell?
What you should have done is cast silence on Aaron before he did his
I
past
know.
tricks.
Too late on that one, I'm afraid.
What's the range of the silence spell?
Okay.
And does a ranger actually have silence?
She does have silence.
Second level.
Fair enough.
Is 120 feet.
120. Ooh.
Okay.
Nice.
What are the components of the silence spell?
There's up to
BNS.
10
Yes.
minutes.
BNS.
BNS. Okay. So verbal and somatic. So same thing as well. If you're trying to do this quietly, I need you to roll a stealth check.
Okay.
Well, I think she's doing it because Aaron was not quiet.
And we all
Yes, but there's a very specific reason. So when casting spells, obviously the verbal commands are very specific to each spell. And I want to know if the mage in that room can hear the commands that are being spoken.
Okay.
So, stealth check from Osrin.
All waiting.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Not terrible.
It's not terrible.
I don't know.
But technically, she has a plus 10.
Yeah.
She does. And the silence spell is cast. What's the radius on silence?
yeah, 20 foot.
Let me actually
Oh,
just
no?
cast it. Sorry. You read it, knowledge.
Okay, so a 20-foot radius sphere. Okay, let me actually do that.
I take that free of them.
Takes all level.
Oh, that's good.
20-foot radius sphere means 40-foot diameter sphere.
Yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's how I don't have to listen to the baby crying.
So, Gamel has heard Loic cast silence before,
Mm-hmm.
and Gamel knows that she's casting silence, and he's going to pitch in, and I'd like to make a 20-foot radius, the same radius of darkness, which foils dark vision.
Okay.
So they have all just gone deaf and blind.
Everything goes quiet in there.
And blind. People who don't have
And
dark vision can now see
That
nothing.
being said, because it's all darkness,
All
those
right.
without true sight can't see what's inside that globe of darkness.
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so they
Not
can't
the
hear
command.
anything we're saying on our end now either because of the silence spell, right? No sound enters, no sound.
No sound enters, no sound leaves. But since you guys cast spells, I'm going to need initiative rolls from everyone.
Yeah, that's fair.
So are we attacking these guys? Like,
It's probably for
I don't know,
duration.
but they're attacking you.
Well, they
Capture
can't
file.
even see us.
We need to
well,
capture.
that's the thought. They'll come stumbling out of the darkness one at a time. We can just take them at that point.
And DM, I'm going to tell Pete to stay back and not be a part of this.
Okay.
We roll twice on this.
Right. So So do I have everyone's initiative that will be involved? Please roll for your animal companions if they're getting involved.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, Theon.
Right. You're an 18 to us, right?
Does Theon?
Theon's plus, right. Here's a card.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, so do I have everyone's initiative yet? Why does that still say Pet Wolf needs a name? Pet Wolf has a name. His name is Theon. Okay. There we go. So I have Gamel, Danrik, Loic, Theon, Osrin, Artir, Erin. That is everyone, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So top of the round, as the silence spells are cast and you cast darkness, I'm going to say that after the hearing Erin casting a spell, everything going silent, Gamel, this darkness will have to be on your turn.
I'm actually just fine with that.
Okay, so what do you do other than casting darkness?
That's probably my action.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to run on a hunch. I'm going to run at the darkness as fast as I can. Because if I get in there, I can see up to 30 feet. So I'm thinking if I get in there, I'm going to be able to shoot people and totally ninja, like stab them in the back. Like something out of a horror movie. It's going to be great.
Okay.
And I would have just dashed straight in there if I'd had the movement. But if that's all I've got, that's what I got.
All right. Danrik, what do you do?
Well, I mean, we're just trying to get out of here, right? So, I think those where the lights are, those are like large pillars, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, I think I'm going to... it takes 2 moves to get back there. Can I take 2 moves to get back behind one of these and also hide behind it?
Yeah, you can.
Right.
You wouldn't be able to actively take the stealth, like a stealth check to hide for hide action if you use your movement and action to dash.
Right.
But they are blind and deaf at this point, so...
Well, right, but there, I mean, I can see where that orb of darkness ends at some point, and it could let them still see me. You know what? Actually, I'm going to come up right beside you, Camel. I'm gonna hang out here with you.
Okay.
And I'm going to also use a bardic inspiration on him. Whistle a little ditty just to give you advantage to put on something later, if you need it.
Now, I haven't had that before. Bardic Inspiration, is that something I just add to an attack roll or a saving throw?
Attack roll or saving throw, you get to add at 1d8, is it?
Yeah, 1d8.
All right.
Okay.
And I think you still
Lasts
have
for 10 minutes.
DM inspiration from last session.
Mm-hmm.
I do have DM Inspiration.
Yes. Please note you have to call out that you're going to use the DM inspiration before you make a roll. Okay?
And just to be clear, doesn't that just give me advantage on the roll?
You get advantage on the roll.
All right.
Okay. All right. Then if that's it for you, Danrik,
Yep.
the first of the individuals comes into play. So the one with the purple dot will walk straight forward till he exits the darkness, sees the 2 individuals that came running towards, and will finish his movement by stepping there.
Good.
He will stab with his weapon. That's a 23 to hit you.
Who's he stabbing?
Yeah, who's he stabby?
Danrik.
Oh, well, he certainly hits me with his stab.
Okay. Danrik, you take 6 piercing damage,
It's not too bad.
and I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw. Okay. You take 27 points of poison damage.
Oh no.
You are resistant to poison because you have a green dragon mask on.
Yeah, I got the green dragon mask on, so that's got to help me, right?
You actually have advantage, so yeah. So you might save.
So I have 20 instead of the 5.
So you have resistance against the mask's damage type.
So he has resistance to poison.
So the 20 was able to save, so you take half damage, which is 27 cut down to 13, and you take half damage because you're resistant to poison. So you take 6 points of poison damage.
Okay.
You were so lucky you picked the green mask.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go back like, hey, guys, this is not good. We need everybody.
However, Danrik couldn't see this attacker before when the attacker started his turn, right?
Correct.
Okay. So he is able to deal an additional 12 points of piercing damage. As strictly speaking, he had advantage on the attack.
Yeah.
Loic, what do? You are invisible.
Yep. Move there. And checking the information real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, let's use an ice storm on these guys. That's a 40 by 40 cylinder.
Ice Storm is a 20-foot radius cylinder, 40-foot high, okay?
Yeah, and it's 40 diameter. That would be 20 radius.
Which is what you've already got, so.
Yeah.
In the same spot, you say?
Let's see.
How does that spell work?
Let me cast it for you.
Because if it's an ongoing, it's going to be lame.
It's not ongoing.
Oh, good.
It's a 1 action cast.
A torrent of ice just suddenly drops down on top of everyone except Gamel and Danrik. What happens with the ice storm? Okay, dexterity save.
Yep.
All right, so I have an 8, a 10, a 15, a 16, and the last one a 16, so all of them fail. They all take 8 points of bludgeoning damage and 17 cold.
And
so a total of 25.
In addition to that, hailstones turn the storm's area of effect into difficult terrain until the end of my next turn.
Nice.
Right.
Okay. Right, that was a powerful hit on all of these individuals. Anything else from you, Loic?
That'll be it.
Okay.
Oh, I do want to telepathically communicate as a bonus action to everybody to keep the drow alive. That was a Lulf worshipping chant. That was a Lulf prayer. We need to question him.
Real quick, all of those, the lesser individuals actually took half damage. So they actually took 4 bludgeoning and 8. So 12 points of damage as they evaded.
Curse them.
Them rogues.
Still difficult terrain.
Still difficult terrain, and they can't walk over the difficult terrain. All right, so the blue, with his movement speed halved, does Doesn't really get very far. Spends 20 feet moving to there. Will then spend another 10 moving out to that point. He has clear line of sight of Gamel, and so will lift out a crossbow and fire a crossbow bolt at Gamel. That'll be a... What was your radius of sight? Sorry,
Mine,
Gamel?
30 feet. So I should be able to see all the lesser beings.
Yep, so you did see him. You knew what he was doing as he was stepping out. So that's a 23 to hit.
He hits me.
Okay. You take a total of 23 points of piercing damage.
It embeds in my shoulder, and I laugh. I laugh.
And I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
I'm going to laugh a little less in a second here. 23, you say?
Constitution saving throw, please. So 23 damage, and then a
Okay.
con save.
Okay, and then a con save.
Okay. You take... is there anything that would have given you advantage
He's a dwarf.
against poison?
Dwarfs have advantage against poison.
Well, dwarves have natural resistance against poison.
Okay. So you succeed. You take... Now, do you actually have advantage on saving throws against poison?
I don't
Damage.
think that's how it works. Let's see. I'm not sure you get advantage on throws if you have the dragon mask. I think it just gives you resistance to what you have.
To the
Reading
damage.
that. So, dwarf, hold on. Dwarven resilience. You have advantage on saving throws against poison for dwarven resilience. Yeah, so I get that. I get advantage.
Okay, so you succeed on that. You take half damage, which is 12 points of poison damage, but you're
have
resistant to
resistance.
it. So you take half, 6 points of poison damage.
Now I really
Right.
laugh.
What does Theon do?
So Theon is going to run in and attack the one nearest to us. So yeah, Theon's going to run in and attack.
It's got 40 foot of movement, so it should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there, you want him there?
Yeah.
Or do you want him around this side?
No, have him there. Have him there.
Want him? Well,
Okay.
Artir, real quick. Artir, are you trying to map out 30-foot radius around you?
No, I'm just trying to see how far I can get.
Okay, fair enough.
Right.
So
Oh.
what's he doing once he reaches that point?
He's going to bite him.
natural
Oh,
20.
20.
That'll definitely hit. Takes 18 points of bludgeoning damage, and he's got to make a strength saving throw.
Piercing damage, isn't it?
Yeah, piercing, sorry.
We're not gonna have him fall over.
No, he's going to stay up, right? So when Osring steps forward to take a shot, he will then do a combined attack with her,
Okay.
which will then
so,
hopefully bring him down.
in which case, Osrin, it's your turn.
Okay.
So click on how to move to a new location. You got 30 feet of movement.
Go to here.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll go there. Okay. And then
Right. So which one are you attacking?
I'm going to this one.
Okay. Do we have a line of sight issue if she attacks the same
Yeah.
one?
No, you don't. You're fine.
Right. So okay.
You
Down.
can shoot over Gamel's head. He's a little short.
Yeah,
That's what I was hoping.
Short people. It's all short people.
So go ahead and fire your shot against the purple
So you
cultist.
you can use your longbow of life seeking to put an advantage on the shot if you want to do that.
Yeah.
So you will use one of the charges to that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, okay.
So you focus on him. You
Focusing
have
on him.
advantage on the shot.
Yep.
Go ahead and fire.
You can fire a sharpshooter or you can fire a normal shot.
Go for a sharpshoot. Well, no, go for a normal. Go for a normal.
Right,
Yeah. Oh,
That's good.
So the first one was a 19. That hits. He takes 8 points of piercing damage.
And Theon should be able to jump in at the same time.
Yep, so have Theon then make
Yeah.
his attack.
Yeah, just click on the fire attack. Yeah.
17 will hit. Not only is Theon able to drag him down to the ground, Theon tears this guy's arm clean off.
Yeah.
Ah, good boy.
Anything else from you, Osrin?
No, that'll be it.
Okay, Artier.
Artier will move his 30 feet straight ahead, dropping his shield and bringing out his greatsword. He will go into a rage.
Mm-hmm.
And what do these creatures look like? They only look like green blobs on my screen.
They're all just humanoids wearing big black cloaks. It's very difficult to actually see their features inside. The only thing, like, other than their big cloak and shadow that you can see, is each of them has a series of weapons on them.
Do they all have hand crossbows?
You'll notice that all of them have light crossbows, not hand crossbows. Or at least those that you can see.
Okay, I will end my turn there.
Okay. Aaron.
Aaron will. The only one he can see currently is the one off to the left. Or to the right, even. So I'll use a bonus action to dash and get to attacks. I'm got a great weapon master this.
Okay, go ahead and attack.
Yeah, 22.
22 will hit.
Have some of that.
Okay. So you attack for 24 points of slashing damage. He uncannily dodges and takes 12 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
So uncanny.
I'll take a second standard attack.
Okay.
Which is
22 will also hit.
where Colossus Slayer dropped in on this one.
Okay. Cutting deep into his flesh, he's unable to sidestep this one. Anything else from you, Aaron?
No, I'll go over that for the time.
Okay. The drow will walk away from the hole of darkness. With the remainder of his movement, he gets to here. And for his turn, there's a number of options ahead of him. I think what he'll actually do is cast Witch Bolt on Aaron.
Since I believe Aaron's the only one he can see from his current position, right?
Yep. So, let's launch that. Why didn't that roll to hit? One moment. It's a ranged melee attack. There we go. So. Does a 22 hit you, Aaron?
Use my reaction to cast shield.
And that increases your AC to what?
23.
23. Okay. All right. Then he will counterspell your shield.
Can he do 2 spells?
Reaction, he can cast a spell.
Okay.
So he counterspells your shield as his reaction. So does the 22 still hit you?
Yeah.
Okay. You take 41 points of lightning damage as a bolt of electricity connects you to him.
Oh yeah, I didn't get things off the list.
Oh no, you did fine, dude.
Okay. It's his turn. The assassin's still in. He is going to stumble out of the square, use his entire movement to reach that point because it's difficult terrain, pulls out a light crossbow, and fires a shot at Theon.
Oh god.
So, that's a 19 to hit Theon.
That hits Theon.
He takes 17 points of piercing damage and needs to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Just do. We don't have saving throws in this, so just roll that.
So
Oh.
click on just Constitution.
Oh.
A 14 fails. He takes 24 points of poison damage.
Okay.
24 points.
24.
Osrin's not happy.
Nope. How's Theon looking?
Not good.
Quite rough.
Yeah, not good.
Rough.
Oh, yeah.
Another of the assassins just happens to just manage to reach out of the darkness with his movement, since it's difficult terrain. He will then use a bonus action to dash and step. Yeah, he'll just step to here to be able to move a little bit further, and he will attack Gamel.
Perfect.
Right?
This is what I wanted.
Now, this weapon, all of the other assassins stepped out with short swords. This one pulls out a bright blue blade, and he swings to attack. That's a crit. So, we have 14 points of piercing damage and 17 points of necrotic damage.
Do I get to save from anything?
Nope, not right now. And since no, you could see him, so it's not. It wasn't with advantage, so he doesn't get the sneak attack damage on that. You feel the wound that was deep.
But that 14 I took away was right number.
Yes, the 14 was correct. Yeah.
Great.
So 14 piercing plus 17 necrotic.
Okay.
The wound that cut into you feels like it's itching a little bit, like an unnatural wound. Any creature hit with this magical weapon cannot regain hit points for 1 minute. Any creature affected in this way can make a con save at the end of their turn, ending the effect on a save.
Okay.
So, back up to the top of the round is Gamel.
So Gamel gets shot. He gets stabbed. I have Whelm in one hand, and I kind of crack my neck a little bit, and I am going to two-handed hit him with Whelm as hard as I can. And in fact, I'll be adding some stuff to it if I hit him. So, actually, how far away is everybody? 30 feet. First, I'm actually going to do Shockwave. Haven't done that in a while. Let's see if that works. Each creature within 60 feet, which should be everyone but the drow, needs to make a DC 15 save.
Con save.
Con, yep.
I have a 16, a 20, a 4, and a 15.
Well, one of them's dead. So.
Yep.
And
also,
so.
I'll just take the first 3 then.
Oh no,
Sorry.
excuse me. You're right. Everyone, including the drow, are in range. So.
Yeah. So The first two are the assassins next to you. The third one failed. That's the one next to Aaron. The mage, he succeeded.
All right, so the one next to Aaron is stunned.
Stunned, yep.
For 1 minute. And then I'm going to use my second attack to hit the guy in front of me two-handed with Whelm.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my inspiration on this to get advantage on it.
Is the shockwave an attack or an action?
That is an excellent question. Let's pull up Whelm and see.
Shockwave. You can use an action to strike the ground. Okay, so you don't have a second attack.
I'm going to use my action surge to get an extra action. And I'm going to attack the guy in front of me.
Okay.
I'm using my inspiration to get advantage on it.
Okay.
This guy's not a giant, right?
Nope.
All right.
Fair question, though.
28 hits for 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
And I am using 2 of my side points.
Okay.
To brute strike him. I get to add 2d6 to the damage plus. Oh, excuse me. I'm not doing brute strike. I'm doing knockback. I hit him, and he goes flying backwards from me, unless he does a strength saving throw.
Okay. He will use uncanny dodge to halve the damage, but he makes a strength saving throw. You say?
That's right.
He rolls a 7. So does he get knocked back into the darkness again?
Yes, he gets knocked back 20 feet into the darkness.
Thank goodness.
I have not moved yet, so I will use my move action to move. I think I can only go 15 feet due to the difficult terrain.
Yep, it's difficult terrain.
I put Whelm away. I pull out my musket, and I'm going to shoot the drow with my musket.
Okay.
And I have advantage because he cannot see me.
Correct.
And I'm going to use sharpshooter.
Yep. A 23 will hit the drow.
So hearing nothing, Gamel knocks the guy into the darkness, steps into it, and then out of nowhere, the drow gets hit, but no one but Aaron can see it. And 2 attacks, a movement. Yeah, I think I'm done. It's my turn.
Danrik.
Right. So first things first, Danrik is going to move a little further away because this is not the place for a squishy bard like him up in the front lines. So he's going to just move right back here. He doesn't realize that there's an invisible person in front of him. That's cool.
I'm no longer invisible.
Oh, you're not? Oh, because you cast, right? Well, he's going to hide. He's going to move behind you because he finds comfort in your tenderly squiggly arms. And he is going to cast the Tasha's Hideous Laughter on the green one.
Okay.
Let me make sure that's within range. Yes, it is exactly within range. Great.
Okay. He's got to make a wisdom save, is that right?
I believe so. It sounds right. I'm sure it'll show up on the card, so...
Okay. Target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone. What's your spell save DC? He rolls a 17.
It is a 17, exactly.
Okay, so he succeeds.
Okay. Well, I don't think there's anything else I can really do, because I was an action and I moved... let's see.
Okay. Then Loic. Does the ice storm disappear now?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Would you like to... Witch Bolt is concentration, right?
It is, so the mage has to roll a con save against 37 points of damage. So half would be DC 18? Okay. He fails that. Loses concentration on Witch Bolt.
Wonderful. Move 30 feet there, and now I'm going to cast Telekinesis.
What are you using telekinesis on?
The mage, and I would like to lift him into the air so that his feet are no longer touching the ground and start dragging him towards Aaron.
What's the spell save DC?
18. Strength.
Okay. Come on. That's a 5.
Yes!
Oh, good.
You pick him up and begin moving the creature up to 30 feet in any direction.
I'm going to drag him right next to Aaron. Because I'm going to continuously, I'm going to keep pulling him this way until I put him next to Artier. That's the intent. But
Okay.
I'm going to make sure Aaron gets an attack of opportunity if I can make that happen.
Okay. All right. Anything else from you, Loic?
That'll be it.
Okay. The stunned assassin doesn't get to do anything until he's woken up, correct?
Correct.
Gamble.
But he can take a saving throw at the end of his turn.
All right. Correct. Constitution saving throw.
DC 15.
That's a 19, so he succeeds. He's no longer... Okay.
If you're stunned, do you fall prone?
Does the ability specifically say?
No. I was just wondering if stunned, if that's just a part of the stun condition. Like, incapacitated is also helpless and other things.
No. Theon.
Okay. Theon is going to run and bite the assassin, the green one.
Okay.
So I'm going to move him to here. Oh,
Natural 20.
natural 20 again. He's doing well.
Nice. Leon is a killer.
All right.
But he's going to bite him and try and pull him to the ground. He's going out.
All right. So a strength saving throw from the assassin. That's a 16, so he manages to keep himself up.
Okay.
Okay. And what do you do, Osrin?
Osrin is going to move to. Well, she's probably got a clear shot now of the mage without having to move. So she's going to. What's it called?
Yeah, spend a charge.
Okay, we're going to spend a charge on the mage. So she's going to drop her concentration on the silence spell and move her concentration onto an attack on the mage instead.
Yeah, you will.
So
You're going to spend the one of the charges.
The charges.
Lock.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's okay.
And then you want to.
and then do a lightning arrow.
Yeah. So,
A 15. You've got advantage, so a 30 will hit.
Awesome.
What's the extra 2d8 for?
right, so you get the 11 for the first strike, hits the primary target, and then the other one takes I believe it's a DC saving throw. So the first target takes 4d8, and 11 on 4d8 is really low. And the next everything on 10 feet does a dexterity saving throw, and your spellcasting DC is 16.
He succeeds.
Okay, so they take half damage.
Okay, he takes no damage. When he succeeds a saving throw, takes no damage.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
assassins.
Anything else, Osrin?
No.
Did you kill the mage?
Yes. The mage falls
Yes.
dead as he begins to shock.
I did tell everybody that we wanted him alive for questioning.
Oh,
I don't know whether or not she would know.
Osrin is
say
a
I wanted-
natural-born killer.
I don't know if she would know to say. I want to do this non-lethally.
you just went lethally.
It's almost it's almost impossible to hit someone with an arrow that's electrified and
Okay.
do it non-lethally.
Yeah, I just mean, you may
There was
not
that
have
time I tried to
known
do
you could
non-lethal
just
damage
kill
with a
somebody
harpoon.
and
We
then
didn't realise he
they
was that
drop.
close to death.
No, I didn't realize that was going to actually kill him. Sorry.
Fair enough. There's always other options. Artir.
Seeing the Drow Mage fall dead, I will look to both the remaining combatants that I can see, and which looks less dead.
Less dead is the one
Aren't you
next to
could
Theon.
stabilize somebody?
The one on Theon?
Yep.
Okay, so I will cast, because my bonus or my rage dropped because no one attacked me. What's up with that? I will cast Toll the Dead. That seems oddly.
You have Spare the Dying, don't you?
I do. I have it, so I can
Yes.
stabilize him.
Dying. Yeah.
I suppose that's right. So I cast Toll the Dead on the assassin by Theon.
So a wisdom saving throw, which he succeeds.
On a 19?
He rolls a natural 20.
Awesome. And I will walk up to the assassin menacingly. Presumably he still heard the bells chanting for his death as I walk up to him.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was going
Okay.
for.
Then Aaron.
Okay. Seeing the mage fall and realizing we need to keep something alive, Aaron's going to grapple this assassin.
Okay.
God, that was
Oh,
not
God.
good, but still like 20.
All right. So the assassin needs to roll a acrobatics or athletics. He'll go with acrobatics. It's a 25.
Okay, I'll attempt my second attack to grapple him again.
Okay.
And hopefully better than that.
It's a
There you
12.
go.
So you grapple him this time.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else from you?
Can I just drag him back?
Yes, you'll have half speed.
All right, so yeah, just drag him back to the others to about there if I pulls along.
Okay.
Come with me.
All right. So you drag him back towards everyone else. The assassin next to Theon will step forward towards the individual that's just challenged him and will attack with his short sword. First attack his attack, that's a 7, so that's going to fail. Yeah, that's all he can really do. Wow, terrible. He's then going to step back into the darkness, since that didn't work. Both Theon and Artir can have attacks of opportunity if they wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, Theon will. Yeah.
Go ahead and make those attacks.
He's had it already. No.
Okay, so Theon hits for 9 points of piercing. Artir, you rolled a 23 to hit, so that does hit. So a total of 38 points of damage as he steps into the shadows, hidden away. Okay, that is his turn done. The last individual will stumble forward until he gets a rough idea of where the individual next to him is, and will attack with disadvantage. That's a 26 to hit.
With disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
Well, When you're having a good day, you're having a good day.
Okay. You take another 9 points of piercing damage and 7 points of necrotic. He will then step back, allowing
He
an attack of
provokes an
opportunity
attack
if you
opportunity.
wish. Yep.
Now let me ask you. I've got the musket in my hand.
You'll
It's
have
two-handed
disadvantage if you...
Did we all hit mute to see it was stars? So I've got the musket in my hand, technically not reloaded. I don't have time to switch out to Whelm, right?
Well, we're not
Nope.
real.
Well, I knew this day would come. I'm gonna stab him with the dagger on the end of my stick, on the
Okay.
end of my. All right.
Yes, the bayonet that Aaron came
Yeah.
A
Someone
24
suggest-
hits, and
Someone
he takes
suggested that.
5 points of damage. Okay.
Someone should give me a better knife to put on the end of my gun.
Gamel.
Gamel laughs loud and says, "You're in my world now." And I'm gonna walk up to him. I presume they can't see me. Maybe they will. But I'll just walk up to him. I'll switch out to Whelm, because why
Okay.
not? And then I'm going to actually. It's an attack action to reload.
Hmm.
Can I reload, switch to Whelm, and then attack with Whelm as my second attack?
So
Or does
Make one
reload not
attack.
count as an attack?
you got to remember the stowing away and the pulling out of weapons.
Right, which is why I
Make
asked.
one
can I-
attack, drop the weapon, reload as another, and then attack. Is that what you're planning?
No. What I'm planning is reload as I walk up to them, stow the weapon, because I have an ability that lets me stow and draw a weapon as one object interaction, and then attack with Whelm, but my gun
Yes.
is loaded on my back.
Yes, you can do that.
Great. So I'm going to step up to this guy. Actually, I'm going to step up to right there. And I'm going to attack the guy next to me to
Okay.
the left.
To the left of you. Green
Whelm.
guy.
Two-handed.
You have advantage on the attack. 17 will hit,
Oh, good.
and he can't see you, so he can't uncanny dodge that, so he takes 12 points of damage.
Wow. And I'm done.
Okay, Loic.
I would like to reserve my action, and then can I give you an either or statement, or does it have to be just?
You need to give me what you plan to reserve and what will happen, like what will trigger it. And
Could
with
we
the
s-
trigger, you can say if this or that.
If the two guys in the blackness just disappeared off my map.
Yep, so did you, because everyone else can't see you or them.
Question.
I
I
see.
think we skipped Danric.
Did
Yeah.
we? Oh, I'm sorry, Danric.
It's okay. It's okay. I just
Yes.
wanted to. Yeah, Danric
Okay.
wants to do things, so he's gonna first
Sorry.
off. No, it's okay. He's gonna move over here with his strong friends, and he's going to cast. Actually, I think he's gonna stay here, and he's gonna cast Vicious Mockery on Blue, right there.
Okay.
Boom.
So he rolls a wisdom save. That's a 9, so he takes 6 points of psychic damage.
Right. And
Anything
he has
else?
disadvantage. And I'm actually going to cast Cure Wounds on myself real quick. As I think it's an
Cure
instant-
wounds is an action. to
Oh, it's just
cast.
a normal action. Okay, so I can't do that then. Now, Healing Word, it's a. Oh, what was I thinking? One of them I saw was.
Healing word is a bonus action.
All right, can I cast it on myself? Because it says anything you can
Yes.
see. Okay, I'm going to cast it on myself. Get some of the health back.
Okay.
Cool.
So you get back 8 hit points. All right. Anything else, Danric, before we move to Loic?
Were you going to
Oh.
stabilize the mage?
Not yet, because there's still a bunch
Alright.
of hostiles around.
Sure.
Loic, what was it you were doing? And yes, when you specify a trigger, you can specify either this happens or this.
Okay. So it's going to depend on
But you
who.
can only prepare one action.
That's great. That's perfect. That's all I need to do. The action is going to be to shift my telekinesis focus, which I can do.
Yep.
And I would like to exert it on the guy that Aaron is wrestling with if he breaks out of the grapple.
Okay.
Or if either one of the two other guys steps out of the globe of darkness. Then the first guy that does will get lifted.
Okay. That switching of your focus on that. How do you switch?
You just do.
As your action each round for
yeah.
the duration, you can exert your will on one creature or object that you can see within range. Okay, so the action you're preparing is to switch your focus either on, well, the next one that goes free, effectively.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Anything else from you, Loic?
That'll be it.
All right. The assassin with Aaron will, realizing what's going to happen, he's actually going to reach into his pocket, pull out a bottle, and begin drinking a potion.
He's gonna turn into a giant. Ah!
Pops it open.
Can I do any kind of reaction to that while I'm holding him?
Not really. You'd have to let go of the grapple.
Could feel.
He swigs the bottle. You see him begin to froth at the mouth as he committed suicide.
Okay. Well, we're all on the same scene in seconds. Aaron's going to try and perform the Heimlich maneuver to make him throw up.
Okay. What does Theon do?
Just to.
I don't know what Theon can do. He can't see in the dark, can he? And there's no light source in there.
Nope. Not until Gamal lets there be.
I mean, and I've been thinking about it. I can't do that to my turn, or I would now. But
okay. I think all that Theon can do really, and what he would do naturally, would be just to go back to Osrin's side.
Okay.
He can't see anyone to attack.
You could prepare an action, which means you say he stands there, and if anything comes out of it, he attacks them.
Yeah. In that case, no, you're right. Okay, in that case, I'm going to move him over to probably go more to the centre of where we are and prepare in that case. Because there's nothing more he can do, like I say. So, do I need to...
What do you need to do?
I need just to prepare for anything that might come out of the darkness.
Okay, so you just say,
yeah, just keep him there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then what does Osrin do?
Gamal could potentially just scream right now, "Everybody get ready!"
Is there any spells she can cast?
Nothing else.
Can she help Aaron try and bring back the assassin back to life? Is there anything that we can do?
You can cast Cure Wounds on him.
Could I? Yeah. So can Osrin cure wounds on the assassin who Aaron's trying to bring back to life?
Okay, go ahead and cast Cure Wounds.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you have to run over and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
You push out. You do the magical sigils. You speak the words. You pour this magical energy into the body. There is no life inside for you to heal.
Okay.
No, he'll be down.
He's gone.
That's a quick working
He's
potion.
a goner.
Okay. Anything else from you, Osrin?
No, she'll stay there. She'll stay next to Aaron.
Okay, Artir.
I'll call out. Is everybody dead?
No.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you can't hear Gamel.
We
No,
can't
she
No,
dropped,
the
she dropped
silence
the silence
is
spell.
gone. You're
It's
right.
just dark.
All right.
Okay,
What are you doing out here?
I will shrug and say, okay, my job is done, I suppose. And my turn.
Erin.
No one's gonna prepare an action, so when I drop it, everyone gets to like shoot and run and hack them all at the same time.
Aaron wanted to try and like simultaneously, like if this is all in the same time, he's drinking this, and Aaron's trying to prevent him from drinking it in a. But no, you're not gonna ingest that. But if he's dead already, there's no point.
Yeah, he's dead already.
Okay.
Good poison.
Well, Aaron's just gonna constantly do that. Come on. And we don't.
Okay. All right.
No.
Gamel.
I can't see them. There we are.
There we go.
Huh?
So since you guys can see, the one with the green dot reaches, kind of flails about for a moment, taps his, well, actually, let's see which of the two of you
Yeah.
taps. A 1 is Gamel, a 2 is his friend.
Oh, please stab each other.
Okay.
Oh.
No.
He reaches for you, and I need to double check whether or not this requires a willing creature. Okay. All right. Are you considered a willing creature when this creature grabs you?
Well, can I roll an insight check to see if this touch is good touch or bad touch?
Roll an insight check. It seems as if he's reached out to you as a friend, wrapping his arm
bring it
around
on.
you.
Bring it on. Just keep quiet. Let it happen.
He reaches around your shoulder.
Didn't
As
this
he does
happen
so,
once
he-
before, like a month and a half ago? Let's like.
He pulls out the cloak that he's wearing, wraps it around the two of you, and pop.
Oh no, Dimension Door! I can't wait to see what happens when he opens the thing, though. That'll be good.
As you have now transported somewhere between roughly about 500 feet away from your globe of darkness, does it dissipate?
We were saying before in the errata, it's meant to act like the darkness spell. If I have any choice, yeah, sure, it drops. But if not, we have to look up darkness.
Telekinesis.
Yep. So trigger the telekinesis as the darkness disappears and there is one assassin alone, no Gamel.
That guy learns all sorts of tricks. He now can disappear.
So you, he's the assassin that you, he's got to roll a strength save, right?
Right.
He rolls a 4.
Yeah.
All right.
So you have
He's
hold of
there.
him and you
Bring
pull
him
him
forward.
towards you. Right. The last remaining assassin, well, it's his turn next. You can only exert the energy on your turn, right? So he's not like
He's
restrained. Right
restrained.
now.
He's restrained.
Is he restrained?
Yep. Here you go. I'll give it to you again. There you go.
So if you win the contest, you move the creature up to 30 feet in any direction, including upward but not beyond the range of the spell. Until the end of your next turn, the creature is restrained. Okay, so he can't move. So instead, he will lash out at the only thing within range of him.
Technically, Theo
I'm sorry.
Theon did have an
for
action ready
attack
to
action.
attack.
Yeah.
True. So have Theon go and make an attack.
Okay.
Non-lethal, please.
He'll roll a nat 20.
He's going to make a non-lethal pounce.
Non-lethal.
Yeah.
Is that non-lethal?
He bites non-lethally. That's 18 to hits, so he takes 10 points of piercing damage. Are you trying to drag him down?
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
we'll put him on the ground.
Okay.
Non-lethally.
He fails and falls to the ground.
Okay.
Thus is restrained, has no movement speed, and is prone. On his turn, he will reach out and with disadvantage attack the beast that just took him down. That's a 20 to hit with disadvantage.
Yeah.
So that's 6 points of piercing damage and 9 points of necrotic. And Theon can't regain hit points for the next minute
Okay.
unless he can make a Constitution saving throw. But if I
Can he
calculate
back?
that correctly,
Can he move out of there? Can he back away?
No,
he just
He's
took
unconscious on the
15
ground.
points of damage. So I think he's unconscious on the ground, unable to heal for the next minute.
Okay.
I'm so
Stabilizing,
sorry.
though, is not the same as healing, right? You could stabilize at 0 and he'd just stay at 0 unconscious, right?
Yeah, he cannot regain hit points, so he can stay at 0. Right, so that's the assassin done. Gamel, you pop and appear in a room filled with drow.
good.
It's a long
this is
room.
great.
There is a ornamental ritual going on of sorts, as you see a number of drow priestesses stood around an altar with a male drow body restrained on top of the altar.
I am really regretting using Shockwave earlier. This would be a good moment. Is the male drow moving? Is he like restrained at all, or is he just laying there?
He is restrained. The room is filled with 10 other drow of various different sizes and capabilities. 3 priestesses all stood next to the altar with 1 drow on the floor. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
This is so exciting.
I don't want to say all drow look the same, but this drow looks very similar to a drow you've met a number of times. You feel fairly certain that if this guy had a wide-brimmed hat and an eye patch, that would be Jarl Axel strapped to the altar right now being sacrificed.
This
Cool.
can't be the way he goes out.
Can I? Okay. Yeah, forget it. I'm gonna hit. So here's how I imagine. I imagine like cloak around me, and then he dimension doors, and then he like looks over, and there's like a little dwarf there. It's like, hi. So I'm gonna hit him with whelm, two-handed again, just uppercut him in the face. Just
Okay.
bam. And I still have my inspiration, right? From
Yes.
Steven.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's
lasts
a
for
D8.
10 minutes. So yes.
Do I add that after I roll, or do I have to declare that before I roll?
You can add it afterwards.
All right, so
After you've
just,
seen the roll, but not before you know. Well, before you know whether or not you hit. Okay. So a 19. Are you going to add the D8?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're going to add the D8. Okay.
I think it's still. Oh, okay, great.
So a 27 hits. You crack this thing against his face. He does try to dodge out of the way, but even at half damage, since he only had 2 hit points, that is enough to kill him.
Sweet.
He falls down. A crowd of shouts and screams happen, and we will pick up with what happens with Gamel and the ritual on Jarl Axel next week as we resume with everyone else for now.
Can I shoot my pistol
we
at
do a
somebody
medical
once?
check on Theo?
So, Danrik.
Yeah.
Tell you what, for Gamel, can we fade to black on hitting him, whipping out his pistol and his musket in the other hand, and just starting to like shoot away, and then we'll go to black. And come back to that later.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Danrik.
All right. Denric is going to rush up to Theon and cast Spare the Dying to stabilize him.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Of
So he
course.
stabilizes. You touch a living creature that has 0 hit points. The creature becomes stable. The spell has no effect on undead or constructs. Okay. So he is able to stabilize, and after a minute, he will be able to re-heal back
Right.
as normal. All right. Anything else from you? Because you still have one assassin left in the room.
Yes. Well, I use my action to stabilize him, and I use the move to get up there. So, and I can't heal him. Nobody else is really super wounded. I guess I'll toss a healing word out at Aaron just to get him
Okay.
back up a bit. And so it also gets a +3 from my cleric thing.
Yep.
So I have to choose the level, right? Okay. Great. So he gets.
So Aaron regains 9 hit points. Loic.
Can I see if this guy has a cyanide potion
Thank
or
you.
anywhere he would keep it?
He's got a bunch of like pockets and things within his cloaks, but you don't. Without physically searching his body, you wouldn't know.
Okay, then can I use my telekinesis to spin him upside down and then shake him?
That'll be another
Another check,
contest.
Looking for
So
loose
strength
change.
save, you got a 14.
Okay, still didn't pass. So he gets turned
Okay,
upside
so-
down.
Sure enough, a couple moments later, along with a bunch of daggers and bolts and whatnot, a vial of potion falls to the floor and smashes.
Great.
Instantly.
All right, have at it, guys. But I will remind you, don't kill him.
Osrin,
Osrin?
Osrin, what would you like to do?
Definitely not kill him. Could I? Let's have a look here. Hold on. Is there a way I could attack him where I don't kill him? Could I shoot him in the leg?
Yes, you just need to specify beforehand that you are doing non-lethal damage. However,
Okay,
I would just warn you that the only type of damage that could be considered non-lethal would be bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, or force. Everything else could potentially kill.
And sometimes even then, if you do piercing damage, but it's with a harpoon, DM won't let you do non-lethal damage.
Benny, no!
Oh God, what do you think?
So anything you want to do? You can hold your action to make sure if he releases himself, you can shoot him. Can aim the bow at him and be intimidated.
Yeah, I'm just nervous. I mean, her best skills is shooting things dead. So I think the best thing to do is just to be prepared to shoot him if he was to be a threat to anyone else.
All right.
And
Go ahead.
I give him that, the look that women can give.
Mm-hmm.
Just that look of just stop, sit down. You're surrounded.
Is it a he? Is this a drow?
I'm guessing
Is
it's
this a he drow?
He's he's upside down, so his cloak is obscuring his face right now. You can't tell gender.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Definitely going to use that womanly look of right.
Just so you know, women, his comes from a matriarchal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
matriarchal
matriarchal.
society. So
Right.
he respects women more than men. So if you're going to be the one to intimidate him,
I'm going to just be intimidating then. Just try and make him just, I mean, he's upside down already, for goodness sake. He can't kill himself. He hasn't got a hope, has he?
Yep. Go ahead and roll an intimidation check,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
we'll move along our tier. What do you do?
Oh.
I will be walking over,
No.
having put my sword away, thinking the battle was done, and see this other guy, and Loic pulling him forward. But he's resisting, so I will run up to him and snarl in his face with my fangs. Say, You better surrender! You saw what we did! We will kill you so much! You will die! And you don't want to go where my friend sends your kind. I promise you this.
Okay. We'll see what happens on his turn. Erin, what do you do in this situation?
I'm going to assist that by snapping this guy's neck quite audibly. He doesn't know he's dead yet, and just snap it and then just throw it at his feet. So his friend is right underneath him as he's floating upside down.
Okay.
Just to add to the intimidation.
All right. Then he immediately drops his weapon. It clambers to the floor. Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Just like that.
Just like that.
All right.
One quick moment as I throw down a bunch of tissues. All right.
So sorry, who drops what weapon where?
So he dropped his coke and needs to clean it up. Yeah, he drops his blue shiny weapon onto the floor and gives up immediately. And with that, we're going to take a 2-minute quick break while I grab a towel, clean up this mess, talk amongst yourselves, and decide what you're going to do with interrogating this guy. Okay? I will
What's
be.
the blue shiny weapon look like? Is it a
Back.
dagger or is it a thing?
It is a short sword.
Give him a minute. Give him a minute.
I always it's a shiny.
It's shiny.
Aaron,
I'm gonna-
What, you magpie or something?
Aaron and shiny weapons, yeah.
I'm gonna say it's a moonblade.
What's a
Ooh.
moonblade?
It's a blade that's just a hilt until you activate it, and then it becomes moonlight as a blade. But it's like deals radiant energy damage,
Good job in the world.
or it does some special stuff. But the coolest part about moonblades is that I believe that you can rearrange. That's the moonblade, right? Where you can rearrange the the bonus to attack, the magical attack, to defense instead. So you can give it to your AC.
That's the defender. That's the defender.
Oh, okay.
The Moonblade allows you to. The Moonblades are really rare. That's what the only had was a Moonblade.
Right.
And basically you can roll
Okay.
random attributes to it.
What did I miss?
Nothing. We were just speculating it's a moonblade. That's it.
Okay. So, as he surrenders, we leave the initiative order. He begs for his life.
Aaron's going to pick up a blade.
Okay.
Just because it is too close to him and he doesn't want him to hurt himself with it.
It does obviously tingle with magical energy, as you know by now. What would you guys like to do with him?
Tell us what you know.
We'll be here a while. Can you be more specific?
Where's our friend gone?
How should I know? And he looks around and realizes that there's 1, 2. There isn't enough bodies. Oh, your friend is lost to you now. But please don't kill me.
Are you a
Perhaps.
wolfite?
You look at him. This guy is not a drow. This guy is a human. Now that he's dropped all of his stuff, you can see that he's just a human wearing a cloak. He says to you, I serve the powers that control the shifting of the world. You would be best served to follow such powers as well.
You would be best served to be less vague.
If you will allow me to live and leave here freely a free man, I will tell you where your friend may be. Where my friend may have taken him.
That doesn't seem like a good deal, considering you were just, trying to kill us. So the advantage is we let you live after you tried to kill us, and you give us information that may or may not be true.
And besides, I can find him myself using my magic.
Then what do you need me for? Let me go.
I want to know what you were chanting.
A prayer to Lolth.
To do what?
Asking for strength, guidance. We knew you were coming. We were expecting the hunter. We were praying for aid.
And they just gave you a mage and 4 people to work with?
Well, roll a persuasion check or a further intimidation check. What's the score? A 17. Okay. So, sorry about this, me not being on camera.
It's okay.
But got to clean things before they get sticky. So, all right. Fine. We weren't actually supposed to do anything but keep you busy while the priestesses finish their ritual.
Ritual for what exactly?
They plan to turn one of their captives into a construct, an undead creature of sorts to serve their will and their purposes.
No!
And send it against you.
That's the strongest
Kill
ritual
you.
the Lothites can do. The thing that comes back, the thing that takes over the host is immensely powerful. Worse than the demons that we fought in Gauntlgrim.
And your friend is somehow in the middle of it all.
All right, I'm gonna start investigating the room to see if there's any.
Can we ask where are they?
Right. Curiosity. Right. Matthew described a punch and then the firing of firearms as his closing out.
Yep.
Do we hear any gunfire? Because it's quite loud.
It is quite loud, but you do not
I
hear
didn't get
anything.
my silencer. Bummer.
You do not hear anything, which leads you to believe that either he didn't fire a shot, because you guys have no idea about that, or there may be a lot of earth between you that blocked the sound.
Okay.
You begin to investigate the room, checking the surroundings to see what you have at your disposal. You see that in the back there is a room, more like a little bit of a meeting room. And roll a perception check
Aaron's going to have a good look around. That's
when you
fine.
check out that room.
Can Theon have a sniff around, or is he still unconscious?
He'll be unconscious for the next hour.
Right.
Hour.
Yep.
I don't know if I should use a heal. Well,
Right.
I thought you said he could get hit points for it.
Yeah, he can't. So naturally, he will return to 1 hit point at the end of a short rest from being stabilized. If you guys choose, you can heal him. You wouldn't realize it, but the first couple attempts you will make to heal him will have no effect. So if you found that you expended a spell to heal him and it has no effect, doesn't bring him up, what would you do? Would you continue trying healing spells for the next minute?
Right. I imagine.
Altering would do cure.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
try one, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. You try one and it fails.
So I see
So
that.
if we have a source of information and we ask the source of information, I imagine that would be the reaction. Why isn't this working?
he's the one that had the sword too. So
I don't know why your pet is not responding. What kind of a pet do you have? That thing's massive.
What does this sword do?
It is but an extension of your own will.
And what was your will?
To stall you, keep you from getting down. Please.
Osrin's going to point her arrow at him because she's really angry.
Okay. All right. The blade stops
Quickly.
anyone from being able to heal for a time. Any attempt you make to heal the dog will fail. But eventually he'll regain consciousness.
How long does the effect last?
Minute or so.
Fine. We'll carry him if we have to. It's fine.
Loic, you look around the room. There's lots of papers, lots of things that are obviously there to throw you off the trail. However, what's your passive perception?
10.
10. Yeah, you don't particularly notice anything out of the ordinary.
So what would be an
Aaron would
investigation?
have gone up there and my passive's 21.
So perception is your ability to be able to see things within the room. Investigation is testing things out. So if you're specifically looking and testing all of the walls for secret passages...
That's exactly what I was looking for.
Okay,
'cause I
then
figured
roll an
if we
investigation
use-
check.
Yeah,
Dimension
Aaron
door,
was,
then
Aaron was only
500
looking
feet.
to see if he noticed anything unusual in the room.
Okay, so
There.
an investigation. Okay, with a 20, you do find that the barrels in the corner are all on the same slab of rock, and you give them a little push, and it seems to tilt the rock up a little bit, revealing a trapdoor with these barrels stuck to it.
Found it.
Hey.
There
We need
is
to move
a
quickly.
series of, there's a ladder that makes its way down further into the complex. And as you all descend in, or at least wait until the dog regains consciousness?
I was going to ask if I could kill the assassin.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I told you everything, now let me go.
Well, I'm letting you go. I'm letting you way go. This is what happens when you choose the side of Lolth versus Gonadauer. Gonadauer is the winning side.
Fine. But if you're going to kill me, do it yourself. Come here and kill me.
Well, no.
Oh,
You can't tell me what to do.
Okay, what are you doing?
Pete.
Well, that doesn't kill him. He needs to actually die. You know what? Yeah, go ahead and use Pete, and then maybe I can get one of you strong guys to... No, I have to do it myself. Maybe I can push him over at that point.
Okay, so Pete's petrification gaze. He has to roll a
Constitution
con
saving
save.
throw. DC's 12.
He fails.
All
He
right.
begins to turn to stone. He screams in pain. Has to make a second one. He does roll a 19 on his second.
Okay, well, he's just going to keep looking at him. Dude can't move, so...
20 and then a 12. Okay, finally the petrification holds root with his arms spread up, trying to block the line of sight. But there's no use. Right,
Got it
he
out,
turns
please.
to stone.
Please take this wayward soul into your mouth and have fun eating him. Okay, bye.
Give him a little push, shatters along the floor, and you feel, as much as hear, a cackling voice in the background. Very well, very well.
Male or female? Or other?
Masculine. It's very familiar. It's definitely the voice of Gonadar,
Okay,
or at least the avatar that you've spoken to previously.
okay.
You get a sense that whilst previously he has, your relationship has been kind of 50-50 in that regard, in that he doesn't care about you. But now you get a sense of interest. Okay? And with that, as a god, fiend, demon, whatever he is, is taking interest in Loic, we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this this session as we explored the underbelly of Waterdeep, discovered a plot to take over the city, and potentially the source of Erin and Gamel's backstory problems. Join us next time. Bye.